is going live right
Just
now. I'm troubleshooting because I'm not seeing it totally on
oh, okay.
my. Oh no, there we are. We're here. Okay, great. It
Okay.
was just taking a
So
little
we
minute
got
for
we got
the lag to catch up to my channel. So yeah, we should be live right now.
we got any
Any chats? I mean, there
any
are a
comments?
few amount of people here.
Okay. Well, before we start getting the any questions or comments rolling in, just first things first, Chris, how you been, man? How you and Molly coping today?
I mean, the funny thing
I mean, the funny thing
is that like the fact that I've been working from home for the better part of 3 years, like my routine is not changed by this. I'm sure not the same for, or it's the same for you, Will. Probably a little different
yeah,
for Kath, though. Honestly, probably a weird continuation from your laid off life to just
It feels
starting
like
working to then
laid off.
immediately going back to this shit.
Yeah, it sucks. Will thinks this is like heaven and like doesn't understand why uh like 4 nights a week I'll just be like pouting and be like, I'm bored.
like I said, I said it on the show. I feel like I've been preparing for most of my 20s to stay in an apartment all day, not doing anything or being productive or really trying to talk to or see anyone. My mind palace is just like very very well rendered.
Yeah,
No.
I mean,
You don't need a mind palace because you don't need to escape anywhere. You don't
We could all use a little escape.
because your reality is what most people would want to escape to. Like I work in an office. I need a mind palace.
Well, I mean, it wasn't always this way, Catherine.
Well, so what's in your mind palace? Describe it, please. Unless it's, too personal.
The Duomo scene from Florence, Clarice.
There are too many big titty hoes there
What?
in your mind palace.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously it's classier than that. But yes, there are some of that.
So like ladies with big boobs, but they're wearing like
Will's mind palace looks like the
Impossible.
mud flap from a 16-wheeler truck.
Yosemite Sam is also there. That's true.
Mm-hmm. It's Calvin pissing on things, Yosemite Sam shooting at things, and big titty ladies, doing the lean back pose.
So if I just send the link to Matt, will he just be able to like?
Yeah, he should be able to join. Anybody with this link should be able to automatically join.
No, but Chris, I hope Molly can hop on in a second, but I guess
I'm getting the next XLR ready right now.
Okay, excellent. So I mean, like, did you go out at all today? When was the last time you left the house?
I took a jog today. I did a 20-minute jog, and then I also went to the bodega to stock up on LaCroix. But honestly, like, even though I'm, that is extremely minimal contact, even at this point, I'm feeling like guilty about going out to even go to the local supermarket to pick up more flavored water or seltzered water because I have to interact with those valiant service workers and stuff. And even though I'm like, washing my hands copiously before and after I leave the house, and even got like some sterilizing spray, and I'm sterilizing everything that I bring into the house, it's I still feel like I'm not observing optimal protocol by not doing one huge bulk buy and like trying to stay literally entirely inside.
Well, first of all, I mean, like,
we tried to like do bulk buying, and I actually have been buying shit because I'm was always ready to like hop over to being a prepper. So like I had been buying stuff like a month ago, but then I realized like you actually mostly can't make stuff without some fresh ingredients. So like that's the stuff that we've been buying like as occasionally as we can.
well, I went. I'll tell you my shopping story in a sec. But I mean, I think the thing is, like, especially living in New York City, like, it's impossible to do bulk buying like it is anywhere else in this country.
Well, no one has room, one, and also you can't buy in bulk unless you have a car and can go to Costco.
Like, unless you have a car, which most people in New York City, at least that I know, don't. Like, you can buy at a supermarket as much as you're able to carry back to your apartment.
Yeah, literally.
And like for Catherine and I, we're lucky in that we just had a very good supermarket open up literally like a block away from us. And this
What?
is basically as long as I've known Catherine. It had a coming soon sign on this one storefront.
Two apartments ago, I used to live on the same street as this. They were putting up like a big new apartment building, and it was supposed to be a Key Foods, and it has taken like what 2+ years that now we've moved back to like basically like parallel to my old apartment, and now it's a food emporium. It's lovely.
It's a very good supermarket. So
This whole situation has really made stark the amount to which my lifestyle currently makes me need to go to the bodega every day to pick up at least one thing that I need to, or not need, but like want to maintain my current life. Like I get a grocery from the bodega every day. And now that feels dangerous in a
We're
way
not going
that
out that.
I don't want to.
We're
I do like
Sorry, wait. I might be fucking up the connection here. 1 second.
did the grocery thing, but like
I when we did the live stream on Saturday, I walked to and from the office, which felt really good because up until then I hadn't left the house in a while, and it was nice to just be outside, stretch my legs, get my blood running. I think everyone right now should try to do that as much as possible. I think that's a reasonable risk to take, even if you just go out by yourself and walk around the block, or as long as you're not. So anyway, I did go shopping today at this supermarket, and we'd made one big shop there like a week ago, and but like again, like a week isn't that much. We could have gone more, but I did an even bigger shop there today. And compared to when we went there the last time, there was a line to get into the supermarket today because they were like intentionally not a line because like there were so many people, but there was a line because they were trying to limit the amount of people shopping in the given time, which I think is very
Right.
smart and responsible on their part.
Yeah.
And
No.
so I think
A lot of the places that I've seen have had even just like tape marks lined up to delineate where 6 feet of space is in their like
yeah,
queues.
they didn't have that, but it was sort of like out the door to the sidewalk and then like a perpendicular like turned around it. And like there wasn't that many people, but everyone was on of their own accord observing like the 6 feet distancing, even
Right.
waiting in
Right.
a
Right.
line. So it was fairly long, but there weren't that many people. And I waited on it. It didn't take that long. This didn't feel like the end of the world or whatever, but it was a little surreal given how conditioned we are to expecting to be able to walk into any store at any time and buy whatever you want.
well, and
Yeah.
also
Exactly.
it wasn't like scenes of insanity.
No, and
Like
that's
people weren't fighting over shit.
and I guess that's the point. I tweeted about it today, and that's the point I wanted to share. Is just from like my neighborhood perspective of the supermarket where I live. Everyone was observing protocol of their own accord. Almost everyone I saw was either had gloves and or a mask or both. Um, Happily waited a little bit to go into the and in the supermarket. Everyone was friendly and polite, and again, not resorting to barbarism, which I think is important to emphasize that like people are dealing with this of their own accord.
Well, and when you're being barbaric, who is paying the price for that?
Right.
Employees who are fucking troops at this point, right? Like
Right.
the theory I wanted tonight was like all of the insane like videos and stories, like anecdotally speaking, at least that I've seen, have been from like Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. So like rich white people going to these places, and then they're sold out of like their brand of lentils, so they scream at an employee because I kind of and like we're that kind of person. We just don't shop at Whole Foods. We go to like the local. We're lucky enough to
Yeah.
have a
You
local
guys
grocery
love
store.
screaming at employees.
Well, no, but I think those type of
I
shoppers
scream at you all the time, Chris.
Yeah, I know. I'm personally
are
familiar with
not
the verbal
used
abuse.
are not used to like uh any kind of scarcity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Or
Yeah.
any kind of scarcity that they can't buy their way out of. So the idea that like they're, you know, if they yell at someone, someone won't find another bag of their lentils in the back is like an identity crisis almost.
There was one guy when I was like I was the closest to being let in. I was at the front of this like weird spaced out line. And there was this guy I saw like just walk up to the door and like get a shopping cart. And I was like, oh, am I gonna have to tell this guy what the deal is? And then he was like trying to get in, and then like the person told him, he turned around, he's like, what is this? And I was like, oh, like, yeah, there's a line, like they're letting only in a few people at a time, but like, don't worry about it. It's not that long. He was pissed off. He was like, oh man, what is this? But that was the only instance of like someone acting like slightly stressed out or angry at the conditions. I thought almost everyone understood the responsibility, understood that everyone needs to go shopping, and was like taking it's the slightly different nature of it. And I'd like to say again, stress very slightly different, because
Very, very slightly different.
For the most part, like they were missing some items, but for the most part, the supermarket was still pretty well supplied of almost anything that you'd want to get.
Wait, so
I will say that the most surreal experience that we had today was we live right across the street from a community basketball court, which is usually like basically 18 hours a day. There are mostly kids out there playing outdoor summer hoops. Literally,
and especially it was beautiful out today and fairly warm.
Literally 365 days a year. In the deepest January, if it is like vaguely warm enough to go outside, there are kids out there playing basketball. And they locked it up briefly for like 2 days, but now for whatever reason it's unlocked. And so there were still people out there, just playing 2-on-2 or whatever. And today, because we also live right next to a police precinct. In fact, we live right next to the Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If you watch that show, the thing that they use as the exterior of Brooklyn Nine-Nine is like 50 feet away from me. A cop car came up next to the basketball court and played a pre-recording message from its siren saying, "Hello from the city of New York. For your safety and the safety of others, please do not congregate within 6 feet of another person while you are out in public. Again, for your safety, please do not be within 6 feet." It was very, very like RoboCop.
That is extremely Blade Runner. New life awaits you in the off-world colonies.
Do not interact with your fellow citizens.
You know what though? Like the thing is, obviously, any right-thinking person should hate and distrust the police. But as far as the NYPD is still around and has a role to play, I can think of far worse things that they could be doing than playing pre-recorded messages, reminding people to because let's be honest, playing 2-on-2, 1-on-1 basketball, not protocol.
No, exactly. Although I don't know if this was
shared his first Instagram story. I want everyone to know that.
I don't know if this was because they were observing protocol or if they were just what this was the game that they were playing. But over the weekend, we did see a very delightful group of people, maybe mostly preteens, like 12, 13-year-olds, who seemed to be lined up around the three-point line in almost 6-foot segments, just all taking 3-point shots and trying to see who could get in. And I couldn't tell if they were doing quarantine shit or if they were just doing like who could sink the most 3-pointers. But
you know what I saw a video of on Instagram was, and again, I don't know exactly where this was, but they looked like fairly affluent white kids. Someone was up on the rim, like hanging from the rim, but like everyone had gloves on. So yeah, this kid was just swinging on the rim, but yeah.
Well, even if you got mask and gloves on when you play basketball, essentially you're gonna eventually have to box someone out or go to the hoop.
Well, you also have to suck every member's dick at some point. And
no, they literally put a sign up. Oh, hey, it's Matt. Oh! Matt's here. Matt's here and he's soy facing. He's soy.
I'm soy facing, everyone.
Oh, wonderful.
We can't back up in the big mode. Okay, anyway. Hey, Matt, here we go.
Terror on the high seas.
Matt, I was just talking to Chris about our shopping experiences.
Matt was saying you have a flat dick, by the way,
Okay. Well,
in the chat.
yeah. Well, obviously he'd do that in the chat like a coward.
Well, look, in the age of
Yeah.
malarkey, all our dicks are flat.
Like it's in a dang panini press.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Catherine, you have anything to say about this?
My dick is not flat. That's what I have to say about this.
Okay.
So
All right.
Yeah, take
Wow.
that as you will.
The Dick is Flat by Thomas Friedman.
How are you tonight, Matt? Are you high as shit again?
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna try to stay at a certain level of marinated.
And Matt, I
for
see
the
you
duration of the emergency.
I might pull a Matt on this stream. Well,
Matt,
I don't know if I could ever pull a real Matt, but I'll try to do my version of it.
Matt, I see you were still in your quarantine
It takes a lot of
form.
experience to get to my levels, to my power level.
Wait, so do you have multiple of that shirt, or are you literally wearing the same shirt?
It's the same shirt.
It's
Yeah,
Karen.
you could have one for every day of the week. It's your merch. Change
No.
shirt.
No, I'm just gonna wear the same outfit. I'm gonna wait for it to fuse with my body.
The dog is going to start chewing on you, thinking you're like roadkill or something.
You want to show her? She looks so cute.
What?
Is that
Let's see the dog.
Oh yeah, all right. I'll show you guys the dog. Her name is Lucy.
Lucy.
and how old is she again? She's an elder.
12.
Oh, pug on stream.
Wow.
That's how I be looking after
Hello, everybody.
Oh my god.
Like a little stuffed bear.
Wow,
That is
That is-
Still out.
sure something.
Stuffed little
She's
bear
such a
buddy.
sweet girl.
Who's a stuffed little bear, huh? Who's a little stuffed puppy bear?
Wow.
You're a little stuffed bear, aren't you?
Let's see.
I love you, little
So
girl.
Lucy's going in the chat.
She's deaf as a post. Aren't you? She can't hear. She's old as hell, but she's so cute.
Wow, remember bath salts? What happened with that freak out?
Yeah.
It wasn't even bath salts.
Like,
That
they
guy
could have
wasn't on bath
gotten
salts.
them away from people, right?
The guy
There
who
was-
ate the face was not on bath salts.
What was he on?
He only tested positive for weed.
Uh-oh.
He got off that
Uh-oh.
weed and cannibalized somebody.
Stoners beware. Also, remember Crocodile? I feel like that's still out there. It's just not getting news coverage.
Crocodile's coming back. I would predict. I'm gonna be bullish on Crocodile, fentanyl, all the really hardcore shit. I'm gonna be
No.
investing
Well,
heavily.
the whole thing with Crocodile was it's actually like even cheaper than heroin.
Yeah, it's gasoline and heroin.
Only Russians would do that.
They are bog creatures.
I don't know.
Uh,
If it works, it works.
It doesn't work though. It rots your.
It does not. It
Skin.
turns,
Well,
I mean,
it
they
works.
call it
It gives you
crocodile because it makes
inside.
Dude, you know
it look like a crocodile.
Cost associated.
You know how fucking easy it is to get heroin in this country right now? Like, why would you ever do crocodile? Do you know how cheap and easy it is to score? I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but
No, you're right. Crocodile will come here only when prices for heroin go up, or people have so little money that even the low prices of heroin is too much for them to pay. So maybe.
Yo, I'm gonna share some good vibes music through this chat.
oh,
and-
please do. Please do.
Great. Now we vibing. I have no idea. Can you guys hear just a little bit of that?
Yeah, I can hear a little bit.
I can hear some vibes.
It feels.
how many
Look, it
people
sounds good.
are-
Coming through the headphones, so hopefully it'll come through everybody else in the
People are
on the
watching the
chat.
stream right now.
Like 282, if I'm
Not
reading
bad,
my
that's
thing
good.
right.
Catherine, boost this again on Twitter.
I still can't believe we were censored
hold on.
by the tech giants tonight.
Yeah, censored by Instagram.
We were. But I honestly think Instagram Live is down.
Yeah, I think
Like, one of the
because
most
so many people are living right now.
Yes. And obviously we're exempt from this, but I've been very annoyed. Like, I basically only watch stories on Instagram now, and I've had to like scroll by like, a half dozen or a dozen stories or lives to get to my stories. when I logged on trying to get on tonight, I saw 0, so that can't be right.
Yeah, I'm honestly incredibly impressed that Zoom has maintained so well throughout this entire thing. It's almost as if they were set up to
Well,
be
thank God
the
you guys-
national infrastructure.
Thank God you guys moved all of your Patreon money into Zoom stock, about 1 or 2 months ago.
I received no briefing by Congress. We had no insider information. This is pure intuition on my part. I heard the word Zoom because we have a Zoom recorder, and I was like, this sounds like a stock I want to buy.
How?
We have no prior knowledge of any of this.
How fucking hilarious is it that the U.S. senator who's the wife of the head of the New York Stock Exchange divested a bunch of money and then reinvested it in teleconferencing stocks?
Pretty funny.
That is
cool.
Pretty fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
is what it is.
that's real goofy shit.
My life a movie.
Matt is 100% right about this as well because he always bets on black. Not only will this person, Loughran or whatever, not go to jail, she will not lose her seat in the Senate.
No, absolutely not. In fact, her margin will go up next time she is up for re-election.
She's been attacked by the loony left.
Yeah, simply for using her for the simple crime of using her insider knowledge about a pandemic to boost the stock portfolio through her husband, the head of the single greatest market for stocks in the world. Does that sound like something a suspicious person would do? No.
Well, so I mean, obviously, I've got the inner track on when. So, just kidding. Can
you guys are cutting in and out a little bit.
The chat. Can I pose a very frequent question in the chat?
Yeah, go ahead.
Everyone is asking, where's Virgil?
Yes.
I can neither confirm nor deny that he still lives.
Oh, come on!
Yeah.
Don't contribute to this. He lives.
Maybe.
We have gotten textual correspondence from Virgil today.
Yes,
Have
I
we?
interacted with Virgil today on a number of chat media.
Oh yes, you're talking about the Star Wars thing. Okay, yeah. All right.
So here is actually a good question. We'll pose it to the wisdom of this small focus group of 500-ish people in here. Should we or should we not do a series of Chapo episodes on the Star Wars prequels?
Well,
is it old? Is it hack? Should we do it? Should we not do it? Do it? Yes, do it. Okay, great.
Yeah,
Overwhelmingly.
I feel like it's a little late, isn't it? You should.
No, these are the prequels.
No, I know, but shouldn't you have done it kind of pegged to some Star Wars? No.
Well, the Star Wars are over now. We have had the completion of the 9 movies that George Lucas always swore that he had in mind when he started doing the Star Warses.
Well, so what comes next? Are they going to start a new trilogy? Or are they going to do one-offs?
The Mandalorian. Matt, did you see the Mandalorian news today?
What was it?
It looks like we've Matt has been either permanently jokerified
Okay.
to a permanent extent or frozen. No, you're back. You're back.
What was the Mandalorian news?
Joining the season 2 cast.
Rosario Dawson?
No, a guy we obliquely referenced last night on Instagram Live, Michael Biehn.
Michael Biehn. Oh, shit!
Michael
Wow.
Biehn, not Michael Bay. Biehn from Terminator and Aliens.
Michael Biehn.
Wait,
Biehn? That
Biehn.
said?
who's
Michael Biehn.
which one is Michael Biehn?
Michael Biehn from Terminator and Aliens.
Yeah. Oh, that
Michael
mispronounced-
Biehn, not Bane.
Matt, are you a
Fucking
Mandalorian fan?
Dyslexic motherfucker. What?
You fuck with Disney Plus? Are you a Mandalorian stan?
I have not fucked with Disney Plus or minus.
I refuse to fuck with Disney Plus because I found the marketing abominable, and also I simply do not want to admit as an adult that I want to rewatch The Color of Friendship and Lizzie McGuire.
But you do, though. That's the thing. I know you do.
Okay, so this is to me the most substantial telling thing about Will and I's age difference, which very rarely matters or comes into focus. But I was raised on Disney Channel original movies. One a month they were pumping these out and some of them were quite good. Will has no fucking idea. Matt, you know about that?
Disney Channel movies
Disney Channel original movies.
starring whom?
All kinds of people, like
Demi-
Halloween Town.
Dimitro Lovato.
Actually, Chris, do you know?
No, I mean I'm closest to your age than either of these two guys, but I didn't do any
I have a
Disney
comment
Channel
on that.
stuff other than I don't know, watching Aladdin the animated series
A
a
comment
little
if
bit
I
when
may.
I was a kid.
You may not.
A comment, if I may. See, the thing is, I don't think this is an age difference thing because technically we're born in different decades. But
Well, and emotional maturity, I'm like 20 years older than you.
well, yeah, you're a
That's
woman.
true.
But this gets to my point. Even if we were born in the same year, there is no way that I would still know about any of these fucking Disney Channel original movies because I have a dick and a set of balls.
Hell yeah!
I'm a guy.
Well, wait.
No, I don't know any
In-
guy
in-
who knows about Halloween Town or
No,
fucking.
Will's balls just dropped when he was 21.
In the chat, Turner Gunk informs me that Mark Mothersbaugh scored the first two Halloween Town movies, so that probably would be something that I'd be interested in.
Really?
Thank you. Halloween Town is canonical. The first two,
Canonical bullshit.
the third one kind of bullshit. I have talked to Will about this so much.
Canonical bullshit.
The color of friendship was actually very woke for its time. It was about like the South African apartheid. Haven't seen it since then because they memory hold it until Disney Plus. Simply too politically hot.
They memory hold it because it glorified the ANC's many car bombings and which were good, by the way.
The only reason I got Disney Plus was to watch The Mandalorian, which I greatly enjoyed, and then also to watch the like 3 Marvel movies that I find really entertaining and comforting and are great hangover movies.
Which are they?
Thor Ragnarok, obviously, right?
Yeah. It's just a pleasurable watch. I like the Doctor Strange movie because I like all the trippy visuals.
Mads Mikkelsen and Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, I like when he throws Mads Mikkelsen into that iron skeleton. And then, honestly, Ant-Man 1 and 2 are just fun. I mean, I like movies when
You know
they're...
what, Chris? You know what, Chris? I've seen a lot of people say that the Ant-Man movies are the worst of the Marvel output, but to me, like, they're among the ones I like the most.
Yeah, they're just fun.
Because I just thought they were, they delivered. You know, and what I also liked about it is the stakes weren't too high. You know,
Right.
like the whole, like literally the entire universe. It's sort of like, if it's that big, I care less. You know,
He's a little man, and they're little stakes. He just has
Very
to get some shit outside of a lab.
Question in the chat. We got some 90s kids in the chat. I was a little old for Sky High.
Oh, I watched Sky High in theaters.
What?
Yeah, seriously.
No, it was a Disney Channel movie. I don't think any one of those got.
No. Sky High was a theatrically released movie. I watched it because
Kurt Russell,
I believe Bruce Campbell was in that movie, and maybe also
Dave Foley.
yeah, Dave Foley, some of the kids in the hall.
movie, same title.
No, I'm thinking of basically like Star Trek, but everyone's a teen. And
Yeah, and they were in a superhero college.
Oh,
No, but it's in space. I don't think they're superheroes. Oh my God, Xenon! Now I'm just going.
what's the question?
Will wants to send. Oh, someone was asking if I was too old for Sky High,
Oh,
so
okay.
I had to. Sorry, I'm done now.
All
Wait, maybe we are thinking of different things.
I'll tell you who's Sky High.
Matt Chris.
Is it Matt Christmas?
It's me. It's me. I am.
Oh, damn! This chat's going well.
Should we get some questions?
Yeah,
I
like
think?
okay. Here's what I'm. Actually, Chris, maybe when Molly gets on, we can do this. But we got.
Oh wow, someone is suggesting that I own your dick and balls. Any
Ooh,
comment?
wow.
Subscribe to the OnlyFans if you want to see that.
Yeah.
No, anytime Catherine and I, appear in public together on a podcast or a stream, she has to constantly own me to like make up for how much she actually loves and reveres me in private.
Well, and also people are constantly sexualizing us when in fact we're like the White Stripes. We're brother and sister. Like how many people know this? We're just posing as a romantic couple. Oh.
No, I was thinking the idea. So we've got basically 3 sets of couples here. If people in the chat want to ask us advice on how to maintain quarantine with another person, we can take some relationship advice questions.
I have no advice on that.
Yeah, I'm not doing terribly well.
Wait, you and I are doing great.
I'm just kidding. We are doing pretty well. Chris, how are you and Molly doing?
So Molly is laying down on the floor right in front of me. The question, Molly, is how are we doing quarantining as a couple?
Oh, come on.
Molly will come on in a second, but she will need
I need
a
headphones.
you need a headphone. Get my headphone splitter up there. I would say that our main advantage is that we were both working from home before this. So we were basically just maintaining our current schedule, but instead of us feeling like we are choosing to both stay inside the entire time, we are being forced to, which I will say is
That's
a
helpful.
quantitatively different feeling. All right, give me 1 second. I'll plug Molly in.
You know, we've had the experience of both Catherine working
this
from
already
home semi-frequently, both at Splinter and at L now.
Well, and then I was laid off at Splinter, so I was home at the time.
Yeah, we had a
No.
We had a
I'm all
good- we had
tangled.
a good
Oh, this sucks. This sucks.
What do
we had a
you
good
need?
3
I
months,
need the
about
clean
3
end of
months
my,
of you just not
How did this happen
laid
so
off,
quickly
whatever, and just being home all the time. So
Having an identity
and so
crisis,
thoroughly?
pacing around, being like, "Who am I?" Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
now we're
there we go.
equipped for this. But my biggest personal concern is that I'm the stream isn't helping, but I'm becoming too much of like a boyfriend girl. Like I'm tweeting about Will. Now I'm streaming with him. Like I just want people to know that like
We're
I
back
might
in.
have a boyfriend whose content I like, but I'm definitely still on the market. He hasn't locked it down. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. I'm not.
so much because you love so much. You can't keep you known publicly because it's not cool. What is? Oh, okay.
Hi, Molly.
Hi.
We're all here now.
Sorry, I was laying on the floor.
All right, are we ready to go?
I just want to shout out Molly is making really lovely short like vids every day, right? On Instagram.
Try to every day, yeah.
I'm so impressed by you. Like I'm barely
Oh,
achieving-
Molly is so productive.
Oh fuck.
No,
I'm trying not to go nuts. I don't have a job.
I know, but I don't either, and I just bounce off the walls like crazy.
You still have a job, Matt. I don't have
yeah,
a
but I
fucking
do
job.
barely anything. I just fritz around and go crazy. It's wildly unproductive.
Well, speaking of Molly having or not having a job, Molly, I haven't seen you since tour, since Vegas, right?
Oh my god, yeah.
Which seems like honestly a million years ago now. It is surreal.
It
Which
was
is-
a month ago.
Yeah, 1 month ago.
That
It
does
was
seem
a
like
fucking month ago.
no, it's fucked.
Just think about the point.
That's
we
not
were-
fair.
Wait, hold on a second. Think about the point we were leaving Las Vegas.
How
Because
history's
we're
not supposed to
spinning,
work
throwing it
like
out.
that. I know Lennon said the thing about how like for years nothing happens and then in weeks everything happens. That's supposed to be a fucking expression. This is bullshit.
Well, where I was going with this is Molly. I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you again. But for anyone watching the stream right now, or if you watch it later, I would like to just thank you from the bottom of my heart profusely again for being such a wonderful presence on our tour. in
Absolutely.
Iowa, and
A ray of
Nevada.
sunshine.
Oh, thanks. It was so fun, and especially now that was basically like the last thing that I did. It's like extra fun. Also, the last time I feel like I was with the crew, I was like a true shell of a person. Like I was not okay. So Vegas really did it to me. But now I'm like, I want to go back to Vegas like right now and do the same shit again.
We have to go. We have to go to the Wet Republic.
Yes, we must reconquest the Wet Republic.
Yeah, we gotta go to the Wet Republic. Fuck.
What is the
We will
Wet-
claim it by right of conquest.
Molly was saying so.
Wait,
We'll be as
continue.
the
Actually,
Ottomans.
let me go through this whole thing because the thing that Molly was doing right before this is something that I honestly think that we should do. Is that she was on a group chat with a bunch of her friends, just doing a for fun
that's
table
so
read.
sad.
a table read of a script that they like. They were doing a table read of Bridesmaids, but I think it would be fun to do a big table read of a script that we all like.
It was really
That's
fun.
a great idea.
Oh, that's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
What would you do?
You know what? I'm saying this because we just watched it this weekend, but like in terms of the screenplay, like every single line of dialogue is just crackles. I think we should go and stop.
Wait, what was that? We lost your audio.
Okay. In terms of like a live read, in that where there are a lot of great parts, and every line of dialogue just crackles. Miller's Crossing.
Yes,
I was
just
thinking of a Coen
that.
Brothers movie. Well, the best live read I ever saw was for Big Lebowski.
That'd be a good one too.
With who did I say? It was Michael Fassbender as the Big Lebowski, and Olivia Munn was in it
Lebowski or Jeffrey?
as the Big Lebowski, as the dude.
Oh, okay, cool.
No, the Big Lebowski is not the dude.
Sorry, as the dude.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Sorry, he as the dude. Fassbender, Patton Oswald was
Walter?
yeah, Walter.
Yeah.
Walter's character. Olivia Munn was in it. Jennifer Lawrence was in it.
I am the walrus.
It was great. That is a great script to read
I
out
am the
loud.
walrus.
I honestly would maybe suggest that for us.
I mean, we do have we do have characters who sort of map onto different archetypes.
Our characters map onto Lebowski pretty good, but I wouldn't want to do that because it's like Lebowski is a movie that is like one of the most overquoted films of all
That's
time.
very true. It's
But
not-
as a
little
whole
bit-
script, it works so well.
Yeah, no, and like that's what's so brilliant about it is like we just rewatched The Big Lebowski not too long ago as well. And like in any of the Coens movies, like the action is just the dialogue. Like every fucking line, not a single ounce of fat, everything sizzles, everything lands. It's just I would like to do Miller's Crossing because it's one a lot of people don't know as well or even half as well as Lebowski. And there are so many good roles in there that like the 5 or 6 of us could fill out for sure.
The one thing that I would recommend then is that if we got like a celebrity guest to sit in on this, that the biggest guest that we could get, we would have do the stage direction.
Okay, can I call Johnny Casper right now?
Yes. I was just gonna cast this out, Matt, and I was thinking of you first in mind. Hell, Leo, I ain't afraid to use the word.
I'm talking about ethics. The money that should be right now by him is over somebody else.
Okay, so I think I would do good as Tom.
Oh yes, Tom Regan right there.
I think maybe Felix or someone else. I don't know. Who you think? Leo?
Felix could play Bernie Birdbaum for some
Yes,
reason.
he could. Yes.
I don't know. There's something about him that makes me think he could play Bernie really well.
And then Amber could be Marcia Gay Harden.
Yes, our Amber's Marcia Gay Harden. We're good. And then we could get somebody to play Leo. Chris could be Leo.
Sure. Well, I mean, I haven't seen Miller's Crossing in like 10 years. So
Okay, here's an important question.
Watch it again and agree to all this.
Then we'll go to something else. But Matt, who should be the Dane?
Oh,
Virgil?
the Dane. No. Oh, good. That's going against type
That's going
right there.
against- That could be
Yeah.
funny.
It could be, yeah.
Okay, let's move on. I don't want to bore
Mr.
people.
Insideowski, get like some damn Bolshevik taking his orders from Yeg Central.
Oh, someone is suggesting American History X. That would be a laugh riot.
That movie's
I mean,
Bullshit.
the only other
Thumbs down.
the only other thing
That's
that I
shit.
feel
Oh.
like we need to acknowledge in some way officially on the show is Casino, but Casino is so long and there's so many
3
characters
hours
it would be
long.
hard to do as
And
a
it's not
as
really
such.
a screenplay movie, you know.
No,
that's
no,
a
no.
lot of
You
improv.
guys should just do like Goodfellas. Just go straight for the crowd pleaser. You wouldn't have to do the whole thing.
But Matt is right though. That like, yes, there are so many memorable scenes and lines in Goodfellas and Casino, but the Scorsese they're not screenplay movies as brilliant as the screenplays are. What's amazing about them is like the action, the visual,
Yeah.
the Whereas like the Coen Brothers movies, they have a radio play quality to their.
Yes, absolutely. Another one we could do: Burn After Reading.
Yes.
Burn After Reading is like a perfectly crisp teleplay.
Okay, one more, Matt. You know what, Yed? I believe
you.
Repo Man. Repo Man. I don't know if that would work as that is what I just saw somebody say that in the chat, and I love Repo Man so much. That is absolutely perhaps my absolute favorite movie, but I don't know how that would work as a table read.
Well, this is a good idea to explore. Like I said, people we need. I want to use this opportunity to experiment with content in as many ways as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm seconding Boondock Saints here. Yes, absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, are there any non-screenplay questions in the chat? Does anyone have any relationship advice that they would like to see?
Yeah, who's got a love line request?
Yeah. Yeah, Kevin, get on those cues. But no, once again, for anyone who doesn't know, not only was Molly a wonderful presence on tour with us, she also was basically our cinematographer.
Yeah.
And editor who edited a lot of those videos, like the Tom Steyer interview, and like a lot of this stuff you saw us live. Some of the videos you saw, like she edited like on the fly.
Well, and instrumental in your short film.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Aw.
Oh no, crucial.
Aw. You're making me blush. It was a pleasure.
Should I shoot my shot even in quarantine?
Where? How?
How are you gonna shoot a shot,
You
son?
have to
Well,
shoot
here
a
I
shot.
think that this is
Where are you
interesting.
shooting your shot from, son?
Okay.
But here's what's interesting is because this gives you a crucial opportunity to maybe position yourself as the first out of quarantine.
Try to line it up.
Yeah.
Catherine, I think the question playing shooting your shot digital, like maybe sliding in the DMs or whatever.
Well, so
Sliding
my
into the disms.
You
know what I gotta say?
I agree with what you're saying, which is essentially like getting yourself in the queue for like the first like you can kind of like dreamcast about like, oh, it's gonna be so great to meet you, whatever, like live in that like texting phase. But my only counterpoint is I think this thing is gonna last a really fucking long time. And we've all been in that place, which is like, oh, you take the Tinder match to texting, and then if you text for like a week, then it's dead, and I think this thing is going to go on a really long time. So like, unless they're your fucking soulmate, and you're like, I'll wait for you for months so we can finally get a drink. I don't know.
I'm going to go in the opposite direction and say now is the best time imaginable. Because, who knows? The apocalypse may be happening. So, I mean, if you're dying, are you going to regret the things you did in your life or the things you didn't do in your life? Something to think about.
Oh, someone asked you this on the live last night. So I'm finally giving it to you because I know you want it so bad. Will, favorite fall, Eldar? The fall.
That's funny because I've been on Chris and Molly's podcast to talk about this very same subject.
Wow, you reveal your ignorance.
Yeah. You already know the answer to this question. And the answer to the question is that there is no favorite fall album. No true fall. They've made 90 fucking albums. No true fall head has one favorite fall album. But I'll say Dragnet.
Here's a question: how do we feel about people lying about their age? Someone says they're 28 but still an undergrad. Can they tell people they're 25?
Are they a guy or a girl?
Well, yeah, that's crucial to me. I don't want there to be a gender divide, but like men get to lie about their please. Men get to lie about their age, and if women do,
who is the evil Toon detective from Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
What are you on about?
Somebody said I look like the evil Toon detective from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but
that's pretty funny.
There is no evil Toon detective. There's the evil Toon judge, but he's not a detective.
Oh, the guy says he's someone who still gets carded. Yeah, so age is just a number. Time doesn't exist. Do whatever you want, man.
Yeah, fuck it. We're all making our own realities now.
You good there, Matt?
Yeah, time is an illusion. Time and space are fantasies.
Matt, I'm sure you saw those great videos of Biden today.
Yeah, he's on top of
Doing
it.
those
I'm glad that he's going to right this ship of state.
The second one actually made me much sadder because you can just see him lose his train of thought and like be disappointed in himself.
Yeah.
But you also understand that like he's used to this happening all the fucking time.
Yeah, he's totally lost his ability to like
Still
edit himself. Like the way that the one where he kept saying, "Oh, that's a stupid way to put it," like he's prepping for it as opposed to saying it.
Well,
like he doesn't realize, like, oh no, you can't do that.
I'm thinking of the one with that lady reporter where he just loses his train of thought.
Oh yeah.
He like drops his head. He's like, oh, and like the woman doesn't have any idea what to do. But hey, yeah, let's just run him. Vote blue no matter who is what I say.
This is the most nihilistic insanity I have ever seen in my life. And my question is, I really thought that they were going to try to switch Cuomo in for Biden at the convention, but I honestly don't think Biden can last till August. I don't think Biden can last till August. And if Biden can't last till August, what mechanism can they do to get those delegates? Because they still technically have to award the fucking nomination at the convention with delegates. Unless they change that procedure, how are they going to determine who gets those delegates if it's not through the fucking primaries?
Oh, so Matt,
wait, hold on. Matt, I think you raised a very interesting point about, because like August is so fucking far away.
It's so far away, and Biden is completely cashed.
Okay, so in light of what you're saying, I read through a new lens. I know you saw that piece in the Atlantic today that said Joe just needs to stay alive.
Good God. The most cynical, nihilistic shit I have ever seen in my life.
They're literally saying he just needs to have a warm body until August. And I don't think what they're saying is like, don't go on TV. Stop being seen. Stop campaigning. Stop all you need to do is they're just on like cruise control now. They know he's they keep having primary. Anyway, they just need him to get to August. But I think he's not going to die before then, probably. But he certainly can't keep going on TV or making any kind of appearance to the public at all.
What they don't realize is that means that you're ceding all of the ground to Trump. Trump is controlling the entire narrative, which means you have zero chance of ever reestablishing it. What? Oh, you throw Cuomo out there with 3 months left? Good luck. How's he supposed to make a dent when Trump has been the only voice of any kind of coherent plan this entire time? Trump's approval rating for this shit is at 60% It's only going to go up, you fucking idiots.
I was going to ask you, what's your current theory now? This it's just going to happen.
What? What's going to happen?
Well, so your most recent theory was Cuomo at the convention, health.
Yeah, now I'm thinking they're going to try to find a way for someone to get his delegates without having, I don't know. But they're not going to be able to leave it to Biden. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe they're going to just cancel all of the other fucking primaries and say whoever had the most now, whoever has the most at this point, and because that's Biden, it goes to him. And maybe they'll just say that, and then they'll do that early. They'll just say we're canceling all of the primaries because Biden had the most delegates. We won't even vote. We just know the number. We will nominate him. And then, oops, we're going to say it's Cuomo, and they do that next month. Is there anything to stop them from doing that? I don't actually know.
I have no idea. I go a slightly different direction here. I got a question for Chris and Molly. Is that cool?
We're here.
Please.
So tell me about are you guys cooking mostly during this lockdown?
We're doing a lot of cooking. We're doing a lot of snack assembly and cooking. Chris made a corned beef on Friday.
Really? That's kind of hard though.
Well, I didn't do all the actual corning myself.
He cooked
corning
corned
is
beef.
half the battle.
Well, I got a corned beef from the store, and then I put it in the slow cooker.
You call yourself a corned beef smith?
Dude, I looked into the actually
How
corning
dare you, sir?
So we've had
Usurping the good name of the corned beefsman.
so we've had
Good day.
I
said good day.
We've had St. Patrick's parties the last like 2 or 3 years, and the very first time we had one, I really wanted to do it from scratch, but you have to get like saltpeter and a bunch of weird shit to actually corn a beef yourself.
Saltpeter.
And Hoops Among who can actually find a salted Peter?
You guys remember that song from fucking 1776?
Saltpeter.
It's a song Abigail Adams is singing and her correspondence with John Adams.
Sing it.
Yeah.
Saltpeter.
You know
Nice.
that one?
I like this.
That's a bop.
Yeah, keep going.
It was
Classic,
nearly
it's a bop.
the national anthem.
It's
Is
a
it to the tune of Goldfinger? Saltpeter.
Saltpeter. It's the Peter you love to salt.
So
Back to Chris and Molly. I'd just like to just hear a little bit. Just give me a couple highlights from your snack assembly and a couple of the meals that you've prepared. First of all, you guys trade off doing cooking or
Yeah.
Trade off.
yeah, absolutely. We both just kind of independently pursue cooking projects, and then it ends up that there's always a lot of food.
There's always food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like right now, I'm marinating a bunch of tofu in a like a Thai peanut butter marinade, and then we'll probably put that in a stir fry later this week.
You guys eat like pretty healthy.
We try.
Are either of you veg?
No, we're not veg. I ended up the last job I did before like sheltering in place truly happened. I ended up with a 3-pound block of tofu from like a vendor that was across the street from where I was filming.
A giant thing that literally said like a 2-pound slab of tofu that literally said soy boy
It's
on
soy
the
boy
front.
brand tofu.
Soy boys.
I made cookies, which is like a fucking mistake.
They were very good.
I like
They
to bake,
are
but then
very
you
good.
have all these cookies. And then you just have to
I
eat
gotta
them.
get something now.
We'll bring
I gotta get something.
Matt. We'll bring you some of these cookies because it's too much.
I really would like some cookies.
But
I would really like some cookies right now.
I would like to make a stew or maybe a cook of vin in the next week or
9/11
so.
stew.
We're gonna make a stroganoff over here, maybe with some
Ooh.
homemade egg noodles.
Oh, that's some German shit, man.
Yes.
Homemade
yes.
egg noodles?
Homemade egg noodles, yes.
Wow.
So go to recipe, yeah.
So
We've
wait,
got
what?
the stew meat and the sour cream,
what
all the requirements with stroganoff.
Will
Ooh,
and Kat,
gumbo
what
is
are you
actually
guys cooking?
a great suggestion in the chat. A gumbo.
Oh, gumbos are
Gumbo.
delightful.
Gumbo involves seafood. I mean that's
Gumbos
not
are
the most
delightful.
non-perishable item.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. If you got that shit, you cook it up. We're gonna have salmon tomorrow. I can't wait.
Matt, I can't remember. You're pretty German, right?
Oh yeah, big old crowd.
So Matt or Will, sorry, went to the grocery store today and came back with a big like, what is it called? Like a
bratwurst.
no, it's not a bratwurst. It's a kielbasa, and he's like,
Oh, yeah.
I just want to give you something from home. Which again was not born in Germany. My grandparents did not fall out of guard towers. He's just but I like actually never had kielbasa growing up. No,
Oh,
like we
it's
had
good.
bratwurst all the time, but bratwurst is not kielbasa.
It's
Well,
more.
kielbasa is a Polish
Yeah,
sausage.
yeah.
No.
I just thought, like you were just hearty Midwesterners. You'd always have some sort of, non-Italian sausage link on the barbecue.
Yeah, it was bratwurst.
Well, okay.
There you go.
Bratwurst was a Wisconsin specialty. Johnsonville brats.
I also have a thing of spicy Italian sausage in the freezer that I'll probably defrost soon, and we have
We'll do
two
like a-
different brands of vodka sauce. In
some
the
penne alla vodka from
some
a
penne
jar.
alla vodka with some spicy Italian sausage.
Interesting note about the hot Italian sausage. Of the items at the supermarket today that were gone, there was absolutely no sweet or spicy Italian sausage to be had in the supermarket.
no.
Well, when we picked up the spicy Italian sausage, the entirety of the meat aisle was completely cleared out except for spicy Italian sausage and pre-corned corned beef, which is why I got both those things and I've been
I think we're
preparing both of
a
them.
record for how many times you can say spicy Italian sausage in like one
Spicy
phrase.
Italian sociology.
Yeah, we're reaching the TOS.
Do we look like shit, like very backlit, or is it?
Yeah, I mean you're a little backlit. I mean I literally have a key light on us because we were doing
I
the
have a
stream
soft
earlier.
focus. I have a soft glow. I look very, very soft and beautiful.
Oh, yeah, you guys look great.
No, Matt, your framing is perfect. You always
I
want
look
to
like
see
a
just
beautiful
above the upper
autumnal
lip of
being.
somebody.
I look
in
like an
a-
autumnal being.
You look like the guy in Home Improvement.
Oh yeah, you're doing you're Wilsoning.
Yeah. Get a little before my time.
All right, what's in the chat here?
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, what's going on in the chat?
Hey, guys.
Ask us something. AM.
Ask us anything.
Shout out here to Practically Pointless, who says, Catherine always looks gorgeous, and I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I'm wearing this insane.
Yeah, let's get
insane like Stevie Nicks like vintage. Yeah, it's a matching set. This like weird.
Ooh.
There's a lot of glamour on this stream
Thank you.
tonight. There's a lot of class.
I've gotten very into like buying vintage shit on Instagram, and I just put this on. It's very comfy. Walked out. Will didn't notice for like 15 minutes, and I was like, "Oh wow."
Typical men.
Yeah.
13th clone of Manchun says, Cat definitely looking hot.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I would like to acknowledge that Molly did get up and change into a very cute outfit and do full eye makeup earlier.
Yeah, I put on makeup because I was streaming today.
And then
for the first time in 2 weeks.
And then also before we went streaming, went on a jog and then showered and took most of it
I'm
off.
getting shouted out for showering. Thank you, Chris.
Well, I'm
Molly is gorgeous. Come on.
No, you are.
This is
if
a
anything,
march of dimes here.
Anything, I have more respect that you did a full look and then went for a run and then did another full look after.
Okay, I see what you're
This is
trying to
absolutely.
on.
We've got
of the
this
highest
is a march of dimes.
I love it.
Just absolute perfect tens.
Matt, are you at least changing the tracksuit that you're stealing all the?
No,
Matt.
I shan't be doing that, madam.
All right, I've selected a few questions from the chat. The one you showed me a little earlier, and someone followed up with it. They asked, "Can you be in a relationship with someone who doesn't know who Carl Pilkington is?" So, Catherine, are you aware who Carl Pilkington is?
No.
Okay.
Clearly, we're making it work.
Yeah. So the answer to the question is yes, you can be. But Carl Pilkington was sort of I dare.
Molly, Chris, do you know who this is?
I do.
I do as well.
But it's like by accident. I think. My sister
I was
showed
never a
me
big
his show.
Ricky Gervais universe fan, but I know who he is. I guess I appreciate his work, but
But you don't need to.
Yeah, it's
you
fine.
don't need to at all.
Will is so disappointed in me right now.
No,
this could.
I think they're gonna have a talk, guys. That might be the end here.
Explain it.
Okay. Carl Pilkington is sort of a singular. I would dare say that Carl Pilkington is the reason that I'm in podcasts today. Carl Pilkington is
he's such an inspiration to me, mate.
He is a British radio producer from Manchester who was given randomly. He's a bloody Mank, and he was a British radio producer who works at XFM, who was given to Stephen Merchant and Ricky Gervais when they first started doing a radio show in England on the XFM channel, like the satellite radio channel. And they discovered quickly that he is an endless font of idiocy and moronic stories, who's a sort of, he's like a genuine real life character that is like, you couldn't write anything that funny. And I was obsessed with the Ricky Gervais show for a long time.
He's kind of a British Dan Quinn figure, but except he had a real job, which was producing Ricky Gervais's show.
He's in jail.
I'm gonna stop now. I'm embarrassing myself too much.
No. Someone else asked, do you like Takeshi Kitano movies? The answer is yes, absolutely. Visitor Q, E.T. the Killer, and Audition, chief amongst them. And also the Black Society killing me as well.
Oh, this is a good question. Who croaked first, Biden or Bolsonaro?
Oh,
Ooh,
man.
I would love to do a Deadpool on those guys.
Seriously, I want to know what the bookie odds are.
Honestly, the entire top level of the international right government regime, like between Biden, Bolsonaro, Trump, throw McConnell in there, just like a Deadpool between all of them.
Yeah, I feel like I think the correct answer is neither of them are going to die.
None of them will die.
Well, but Bolsonaro has had cancer, so he actually might.
Bolsonaro
None of them will die.
logical to bet on.
You can
know
keep
why,
the
guys?
alive for 10
Guys, I
years.
figured this out. None of these evil people will die from this. You know why? Because
Why?
God delights in human evil.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
then there was,
I
one
mean,
other question I saw.
it's always bet on Hellworld, right?
Yep.
The last question I saw was my opinion of the Patrick O'Brien, Jack Aubrey novels, and my opinion is thumbs way up. I haven't read all of them, but they're wonderful.
Will, do you like smoking Kush?
Absolutely.
These are
Controversial.
softballs. We
Yeah,
need some hard hitting stuff right
honestly
now.
though, like I only really fuck with indica. Like that's I really don't even like smoking sativa anymore.
My current thing is, Will's like a smoke weed every day kind of guy, and I'm more deranged than ever. So like he'll roll a joint and I'll have like one puff, and I will be so high I'll just be like giggling, and it's really embarrassing because I
Hell
like to think
yeah.
I can
Hell
hold my
yeah.
tongue.
Get off that loud. Get
Yeah,
off that loud pack.
I've been off that loud.
Hell yeah. Tremendous.
I need diet weed. That should be a thing.
What would that even mean?
Like
Just like half weed.
Yeah,
What?
for girls.
Weed for girls. Weed for bitches.
weed for girls.
This
Weed,
is $1 billion idea.
weed slims.
Yeah.
Any venture capitalists out there?
Hey, any sharks interested in weed for girls?
Mark Cuban, this will buoy the economy.
You got it.
It's
All right, throw us a curveball. Come on, I'm staring at this chat.
Come on.
Come on.
Talk about, huh?
A lot of people want Will to make Matt sit on their face, which is I've seen that multiple times. Seems very specific.
Why would they want him to sit on my face? They want me to tell him to sit on their face.
The second one.
Well, why do they think that I have that kind of authority?
Wait a minute. How is he my boss if he's sitting on faces department? That's not
yes,
part of our business model. We did not sign that in the contract.
Virgil is alive. You're just revealing that you haven't tuned into the whole chat, so no more questions about Virgil.
I think Virgil has consumption, though.
For anybody asking where's Virgil, it's up to Virgil when he comes back on the show.
You
I
should
think he might
DM.
have
You should
consumption.
DM and email him.
Yeah,
I think he has a 19th century disease like rubella or something.
he's been in the chats, in our group chats. He's around. It's just a matter of him
he's
showing
writing
up for
a
our
draft will
remote
assessment
recordings.
With quill and parchment.
People want to know if you played disco. Have you?
Oh, my favorite John Selmer Dix book? Well, obviously On the Wings of Eagles. It's the only book that you need to read.
Somebody is asking, Chris, what is my D&D game like? I would say that I'm not running this anymore, but for a while I was running a totally homebrewed D&D campaign based on the players of the French Revolution, where basically the PCs, the player characters, were all thrown into a world where it was like a Grand Theft Auto style world where they could just pick up quests, and everybody in it was mapped onto a various figure of the French Revolution, and then that instantly got way too complicated for me to run in my head. So I blew it up and ran something based on a podcast.
Nice.
That's just me bragging about my D&D games.
Nice.
If anybody has a D&D game that they would like for me personally
Chris
to
is a good
play
DM,
in,
I will say that.
I always have to run games and I never get to play, so I would die to just jump into somebody's 5e campaign and play a few sessions and jump out. That would be great. I would brew up a character anywhere. Just DM me. I would love to do that.
Well,
DM.
Just
so
want to talk about some D&D for a second.
multiple users, I'm shocked by this, are asking us about Les Mis, including asking us to sing, which I don't know that we can do. But someone has posited Will as Jean Valjean, Felix as Javert, and Matt as Thénardier, which I feel is totally correct.
Who the fuck is the Nard Dog? What is that?
the Noidier.
He's master of the house. He's
What's that mean?
The cruel, corrupt innkeeper.
Is he cool?
I mean, he does my favorite song in Les Mis, so
All right,
yeah,
fine.
cool.
Also, Will reminded me in the book. Well, in the musical, it's clear that they've made a lot of money off of this failed uprising. But in the book, he goes to America and becomes a slave trader. So, oh yeah, Matt.
Come in, monsieur. Sit yourself down and meet the best innkeeper in town. As for the rest, all of them crooks, rooking the guests and cooking the books.
Molly, do you know any Les Mis?
A little, not the whole
Huntsman
thing.
like me, a gent of good intent, who's content to be master of the house, doling out the charm, ready with a handshake and an open palm.
Saucy tail,
Makes a little stir. Customers appreciate it. Bon vivant. Servant to the poor. Butler to the great. Okay. Sorry.
Okay. Honestly, that was pretty good.
Full
I
table
would-
read with
with
songs.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Kind of a freak. What'd you say, Molly?
Full table read with songs
I would
Of
love
what?
that.
of Les
Molly,
Mis.
I'll let you know. Someone is saying Molly and Kath Queen. So
Oh wow, thank you.
absolutely
I
true.
mean, true.
Yes.
Fact.
Excited. You know, this is the most female guests that have ever been associated. Actually. So
It's-
monumental. Day.
It's almost equal now.
Yeah.
We
Look,
need
we
one
got
more
another
girl.
lady on this. Well, wow. The parody would
One
be
more girl.
Level,
more
the
girl.
parody levels would be breaking 9,000.
Yeah.
This is for Chris and Molly. People are saying like Nard Dog and things in the chat because Matt.
Wait, you're coming in and out. I'm also just generally impressed that no matter what angle Matt has, whatever his setup is at, it only ever hits the bottom of his bottom lip. Like it's only ever the top half of Matt's head, no matter
Wait.
what.
Kat, say again. You cut off.
Sorry.
Yeah, Cat, you got cut off.
Oh fuck. Oh. People are making Nard Dog jokes, but I would bet an arm that Matt doesn't know Nardwar. Oh, Nardwar.
Oh, Nardwar rocks.
Nardwar, the human serviette.
That's why I was saying this is for Chris and Molly. I thought Will was new.
No, never see this Canadian interviewer who dresses in like a real golf cap.
Matt, do you know? Is my arm safe?
Huh?
I think that's the yes.
Nardwar, the human serviette, is an amazing Canadian interviewer. Has been working for 30 years just to
Long time.
interview various celebrities and musicians, knowing more about their personal lives than almost they do.
Yeah.
And just making very charming interviews
Yeah.
about people with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
It's Nardwar.
Yeah.
Interesting was that he gives the gifts which are so intimate and personal that it almost always catches the person who's interviewing off guard and transports them to another part of their careers, which is I cannot think of a single other interviewer who does that or has done. Can you?
The only person,
Hot Ones,
the Hot
yes.
Ones guy, the only other person who vaguely approaches
Sean
that.
Evans.
Hot Ones is like the American Nardwar kind of. It has its gimmick.
American Nardwar! Say no man for me! American Nardwar!
Someone is calling for a Molly Amber Kath episode. Damn.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
the hens. We can call it the hen house. The
Oh,
hens in the hen house, boys.
Maybe not a Molly Amber Kath ep, but I have a kind of
another woman.
No, well, I was gonna say I fantasize about trying to do a Bizarro Chapo ep where it's just a whole ep of a whole different crew of what could be Chapo, and I don't even know what that whole crew would be. It's like maybe like
Okay, wait.
Like a podcast swap, basically.
Yeah, wait. This is a good question.
it's like
Oh, like wife swap, but podcast.
I'll propose like a basic setup, like maybe like. I mean, Brendan's an easy one bit because he's off the show now, but like maybe like Brendan, Shuja, Libby, I don't know that kind of crew.
It's interesting that you're working so hard to steer away from the original idea, which was Molly, Kath, and Amber.
Yeah, wow.
No, I would love to produce that.
Like,
I would absolutely produce that.
It sounds like you're silencing female voices.
Yeah, this is pretty problematic here. This man is going to mansplain which women's voices we're going to hear from.
Chris, time's up.
I'm sorry.
Time is up, Christopher.
Dude, if you guys want to do the Molly, Catherine, Amber app, I will tomorrow. I will produce that. I would love
Honestly,
to do that.
Like the fewer episodes I have to worry about, the better. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, but back. Not the original concept of Molly, Kath, Amber, which I agree with and support. Like the Bizarro Chapo, like where we like podcast swap our roles for different people. Who would you want to replace you on the show, Matt and Chris? Like in terms of like the person who we know who's affiliated or like could do the show.
Well, honestly, for me, my answer is easy. Is that I would swap in young Chomsky for me any minute. He's killing it over on True Anon.
Well, Matt, who would you want like to sub in for you to? And by that I mean like who would you want to fill the role that you currently occupy on the show, or who could do a version of what you do in the most faithful or interesting way?
I gotta say Brace Belden.
Fuck you! I was about to say Brace.
I scooped him in there. I swooped in. I swooped.
Well, I have to give credit to Catherine for saying this. She walked away for a second, but she said last night that like Mike Racine and Nick Mullen in their Instagram videos and videos they're doing now are just quarantine killing it in terms of content. But in terms of just pure posting, she's 100% right. Brave Brace is taking it to a whole new level.
Brace is killing it.
He is so pure.
This is why it's so interesting that like I said that, and then a tweet appeared on your timeline, which was exactly what I had said. I thought that was interesting.
We said it together last night on the.
Well, you just kind of credit it to me, so I'm not really sure what to think about that.
When he got the Chinese translation of "I will sell the Boston Senator as a kitchen slave," amazing.
From the Turanon account, like he's reaching a level of like poetry with posts about this pandemic and San Francisco and what he's now calling phase 2. Yes, it is. Catherine is. It is Burroughs like.
He's rising to the moment for sure. I worry that I'm honestly failing the moment, but he definitely feels like he's rising to it.
Yeah. So can't pick up him enough, but he is vibrating on exactly the right frequency.
No, he's
right
not. He's touched by God. I worry that I'm off the beam, honestly. I worry that I'm off the beam. I don't know how to get back on. I got whacked off about 30 days ago, and I don't know how to get back on.
Matt, as soon as you stop worrying about following the beam, then you will be on the beam.
Oh man, come on.
Okay, I'm thinking about this literally producerially. Like, if you guys all got like hit by a truck tomorrow, and I had to recast the whole show, how I would do it.
I love that your presupposition is that like obviously if everyone died, you would continue
the show. Yeah, I mean, we all entered in a tontine, and the last one surviving gets the rights to the name Chapo Trap.
Exactly.
Okay. No.
Is that in paperwork?
Okay.
Do you have that settled?
No, well,
yes,
we're set right now.
We wrote it in blood.
This is legally binding. We referenced this.
It's a blood oath.
We
Sworn
referenced this
before a full moon.
we referenced this last night on the live stream that Catherine and I did. But yeah, like now, we're living in weird times. Should the unthinkable happen, like living will. Like if I died, who should replace me on Chapo? And the answer is obvious. Catherine.
Most of Will's best jokes come from me anyway, unknowingly. So,
She's already writing for the show. And genuinely, I think there's no one else that wants to fill in for me.
Okay.
And there's no one who could do the job that I do on the show as well as she could.
So Catherine is you, and then Brace is me. I think that's a good start.
I have a totally different version of this. Again, this is me getting like plucked by NBC or HBO to be like, oh, you have to do this in the major leagues and like recreate the thing. And I'm talking about I want to like
major leagues. The major leagues.
I know. I just want to see how this is how I interpret the dynamic. Here's a cast that I would pick.
Yeah.
Adam Johnson from Citation Needed to just read to do like the total survey and exquisite knowledge of all news, in addition to just pure hosting abilities that Will brings.
You're saying he's Will.
Johnson for me.
Yeah, Sean KB from Antifada for Matt for the history, knowledge, and like righteous anger that Matt brings. And then Brace to do the Felix role of basically being the Charlie wild card, but also like deeply knowledgeable about everything that he knows. That's my off the cuff, like how to try to recreate the dynamic in a different way. Because
someone in the chat said Anna Kay as Amber, which
no, too unstable. Like too much of a wild card.
Wild card, motherfuckers! You want to dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Someone said Liz as Amber, which I like.
Yeah, I mean that's so obvious. I'm trying to avoid just recasting Truanon as the show. They are very good.
But what is success in business if not, just absorbing smaller podcasts?
We're gonna make Brace and Liz an offer they can't refuse.
And honestly, the hardest not the hardest. I mean, everybody is impossible to replace because everybody is so unique. But the hardest to find an analog to is probably Virgil.
He's one of a kind.
He is a very one of a kind. Yeah.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of wonks out there.
There aren't a lot of libertine, decadent, hardcore wonks. I mean, that is an archetype that he is forging for himself.
Late Victorian poet wonks.
That's interesting.
Large group.
Did you hear that? Someone suggested ContraPoints for Virgil if we're just completely drinking here.
Okay.
That works. I don't know. I can see it.
I mean, the energy, same, but the thing is with Virgil is that he has hardcore like wonking bona fides.
He would
so
have
it's
to
hard
be replaced by
replace.
2 people. He would be the only person who would need
a
wonk and a vibe.
You need to Brundlefly, ContraPoints, and Sam Sater.
Oh yeah, people in the chat were also saying Sam Sater.
Brindlefly, ContraPoints, and Steve Kornacki from MSNBC.
Yes, exactly. That's what you need to do.
That's the 2 names I'm going to put out for the replacement squad or dream team.
Caroline Calloway. Ooh, bring
I would
Caroline
say Jack
Calloway.
Jack Wagner from Yeah But Still.
Jack's great.
A semi like both a player coach, like producer and Mike, and then Branson from E1. I mean,
oh yeah.
Oh, so someone is just saying put Cat Williams on the pod, and I agree. Just as no analog, just
Cat Williams.
Yeah, just get him in there.
He's one of the best comedian stand-ups of all time.
It's true.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to like while we're doing this. I don't want to blow too much smoke on Will, but I feel like Will never gets the praise that he deserves about how much that you're playing both like coach and quarterback for all these shows that Will puts together the entire show.
John McGraw.
Yeah,
the old New York Giants.
Will
No, I
Will
mean,
Will knows what goes into a good episode of Chapo, as much as he is also a performer on Chapo, and so I always think that Will is playing a dual role that's hard to fill.
the analogy I always go to is point guard.
Yeah, sure.
You're the coach on the court, and your job is to dictate the pace of play, run the plays, but ultimately set up your team for success.
Right.
Steve Nash.
Even shooting yourself,
Someone says Will is a kind of a Tom Brady, Joe Paterno role. pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Well, at least I didn't say Jerry Sandusky. I'm just
Well, Joe Paterno was not exactly blameless.
he was. I'm saying that right.
Joe Pa.
Joe did nothing. Joe Pa did nothing wrong.
Don't flip this.
Yeah.
That's not no.
Already, Joe. I'm kidding.
Will Pa.
That's good. That's good.
All right. I need to go to the bathroom.
He's gonna be shitting out of his doo-doo-ass.
Oh boy.
He's gonna be gone for 30 to 40 minutes.
Oh boy. Guys, I just got the fear again.
Oh, you got the fear?
Oh yeah.
Is it just coming in waves for you right now?
Yeah, it comes in waves. I'll forget
It's
about it and then
It's like 30 on, 30 off.
yeah, then I just get like a little shock. Yes.
Oh, hello.
And now I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah.
I got the fear. Honey, I got the fear. Oh boy. Waves of Fear. You guys know that song?
Just consider not having the fear, Matt.
Yeah,
That's
if it were me, I would simply not have the fear.
Is that your idea? Is that what you think would be a good idea to do?
What?
Yeah. I mean, all we can do, all each of us individually is maintain our own personal best case responsibility. What else are we gonna do?
Oh, I have a good question for Matt and I, which is,
members,
the reason
ideas to present.
Matt and Kath, who are your favorite dumbass Wisconsin politicians?
Oh, that is a good question for you guys.
I like big, beefy piece of shit Jim Sensenbrenner.
Oh, he sucks.
Fun.
I have to put my marker down for Grothman. Glenn Grothman, who I covered.
I don't even know that guy.
Oh, Google him. Well, now he's in the U.S. House. He used to be in the State House in Madison. So I, as a student journalist, would call him on the phone, and he would call me back on my cell phone. He was always. It was weird that he called me back personally at all, but he was always a huge asshole. And who else? Robin Volk or something. You know what I'm talking about? Robin Thicke?
Is Robin Thicke a Wisconsinite politician?
Oh, yeah.
Robin low-key Thicke.
Sorry. Voss tried to, block. There was a newly elected lawmaker who is in a wheelchair. He was paralyzed from the neck down in a drunk driving accident. He wasn't drunk. That killed his entire family in the car. And Robin Voss refused to make reasonable accommodations in committee for this lawmaker. So yeah, he's a real shithead too.
Wow.
I one time served Jim Sensenbrenner when I worked at Barnes & Noble. He bought
what book
Time
did he
in
buy?
Newsweek from me. And I looked into his fat, disgusting, bulbous, red face, his giant, huge pumpkin, just huge blood balloon. His head was a disgusting blood balloon looking like it was going to pop.
Matt, do you remember what
vein throbbing in his disgusting nose?
Matt, what book did he buy?
He didn't buy books. He bought magazines. Time. Back when those were still things.
Wow.
Sorry, very sociopathic. A guy who goes to Barnes and Noble to just buy Time and Newsweek.
Very strange.
What is
Very
that?
weird.
Curious.
Can I update you guys on some personal information, Cincinnati politics?
Yeah, please.
Which is that a guy from my high school who has been a city council person for several years, who I've followed on Twitter because I knew him from high school and when he became a city council member, I was like, oh, lol, I'll follow him. It took me like 3 years of following this guy on Twitter to figure out if he was a Democrat or Republican, which tells you that he is a Democrat. That he is like totally nothing, like just bromides all the time. And now he is running for mayor of Cincinnati, apparently unopposed, although the election is like 18 months out.
Chris is thinking of going back and trying to get him.
Yeah, actually, I want to go back to Cincinnati and primary him on the. Anybody here like to party?
Don't
Platform?
they do the jungle primary for the mayor of Cincinnati?
I don't remember how Cincinnati.
I think they do a jungle primary, so that means everybody runs at once, and then the top two run against each other.
I'm kidding.
I also found out recently that 2 graduates from my high school are like semi top tier people in the Democratic Party. And they do like tweets from at the Democrats and stuff.
Oh.
Wait, also, didn't you realize you know someone who was Steyer's?
Oh yeah. So one of them had moved back and forth between those positions of from being Steyer's press secretary.
Oh, I got one. This guy who was like a student government shithead. Again, as a college journalist, I covered like the student government at Wisconsin, which was like the student government was kind of a big deal because it was a big school. This guy who was always clearly like, conniving, he was always headed somewhere. He tried to personally get Bill Clinton to be the commencement speaker, like students paying for it. He now runs like a millennial aligned super PAC.
Oh.
Yeah. So
a millennial aligned super PAC. I assume it's not.
I love to align with millennials.
Yeah, all that free-flowing cash among the millennial generation that you want to just hoover up.
Love to align with the millennial interests.
Wait a second. I got a bit for Matt.
Yes?
I thought of this while I was taking a leak. So, like we were talking about before, replacing, all chapo alternates, or like, and then what I do for the show where Chris said, as being, what he does to run the show, right? I was thinking I'm being interviewed, and they're asking me what are your day-to-day duties here at the podcast? And I go, I serve at the pleasure of Large Sons Productions Incorporated. Chris is obviously the head of the casino, but when Chris is not around, day-to-day, say I run the podcast. Sorry, I botched it. That was casino.
I knew that you were doing a casino reference. I mean, half of everything that we do on the show is a casino reference.
Day to day, you could say that, yes, I run the podcast. No, that's not true.
Casino gang. I mean, again, as we were saying earlier, because as I've thought since basically the moment I started doing it, like, if there is one movie that is most referenced on the show, it is probably Casino.
Casino is far and away, if you added it up, the most referenced film on over the run of the podcast by far. And we were going to do a screening of a movie at Williamsburg Nighthawk on 4/20 of April, but unfortunately it has been canceled for obvious reasons, which is the smart, responsible thing to do. But it's a bummer because I was really looking forward to doing it. And the original ask was Nighthawk is doing a film series on movies about capitalism. And they wanted different people to host and present the films. And, they sent us a list of stuff they were thinking about. I think like American Psycho is on there, like, I don't know, Wall Street or something like that. And we're trying to figure out what's a movie we could present as we did at Lincoln Center for Starship Troopers, right? It's something that's connected to the lore of the show and or fits the theme.
Well, not so. To me, American Psycho is very obvious. You guys made a less obvious pick.
No,
and also, we've never really talked about American Psycho on the show, or
no.
Maybe we've referenced it one time, but yeah.
And Amber ended up suggesting Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is such a perfect suggestion for the whole show. It's the Looney Tunes-ness of the whole thing. The relationship between the dismantling of public goods for private interests,
fourth wall breaking.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is the absolute perfect choice, and the thing is, it has not been referenced heavily on the show. It has been referenced several times, but it was referenced once in an already iconic way by Felix referencing David Brooks' nuts.
One of the funniest things.
Bullets.
One of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Yes, that was an all-time Chapo gag.
I'm trying to look up because I know we have a YouTube clip of that moment. And I want to link it in the chat.
When I heard that was so wild and genuine.
The connection he made there, but here's a little behind-the-scenes stuff for the people watching the stream. Matt, Chris, and I, on our last day in San Francisco, got a tour of the Lucasfilm office in the Presidio.
Yes.
Saw the actual, like, not like the animation cells, but like prop mock-ups of the bullets from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, each of the characters in a glass case. And it was such a perfect, I really wish Felix could have been there for that, but it was so perfect.
I'm putting that clip link in the chat right now.
Okay. Actually, Matt and Chris, what was the coolest thing, in your opinion, that you saw at the Lucasfilm office?
I would have to say that it was that big camera setup that they used to do processing shots for things like, if I remember correctly, things like the attack on Hoth raid, where
most of the special effects in the original Star Wars trilogy of like the speeders going through the forest, or anytime you see like something in a model in space overlaid like another. It's just, this was special effects before computers. And
it was where everything had to be like made physically, like rendered physically on literal physical film and stuff. Like anytime
they've filmed 3 different things.
Yeah.
And this machine shoots all 3 of them superimposed over each other, and then develops on a 4th strip of film the composite of all 3 strips of film.
Anytime I'm reminded how physically difficult it is to make a movie, and even now, we like deride, and I know like Matt derides like the CGI squibs and stuff, and I know I totally agree. I totally agree that it's not as
aside, scoundrels.
It's not as viscerally as impactful as a real physical squib shot on film.
It is vile-mouthed bankery.
But anytime I'm reminded how complicated it is to create the illusion of a feature-length film, I am always impressed, because it is one of unendingly daunting process to do the things that movies do, and that's why movies are amazing. They're really complicated to make. It's really hard to make a good movie.
Probably a dumb question, but like, really, can you think of a like newish movie where they actually use squibs as opposed to just doing it digitally?
No, they almost don't.
Yeah.
Do. It's really distressing.
Like, do they actually, like, mostly not, unless it's like,
it's really distressing to me. It's very.
It's a lost art. I mean, like I know there are definitely there's got to be something that has used the squib of recent vintage, but the one that comes to mind of something like recent-ish that used squibs for a shot was Boardwalk Empire, and I remember this because when we had Morgan Spector on the show, I talked to him about the scene where he dies on that show, which did use squibs. It was basically like the Sonny from Godfather getting riddled with bullets in front of a car. And he said that they spent like all day just wiring up his whole body with all of that, with all the like little pops. And
someone says,
well, I mean, obviously Tarantino, God bless the man. Tarantino has only ever used squibs, including in incredibly violent shit like fucking Django Unchained with lots of bullets.
Oh yeah, every bullet now is so
Tarantino
strong.
is a fucking G. He has never used fucking squibs. Always real shit. God bless him. I love him.
Dangerous.
Well, there's a small amount of explosives involved in it, so yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, they're for hella dangerous.
Well, a weird experience. Speaking of like practical effects being actually dangerous, a weird experience I just had last night is you're like going in an Instagram hole, and I was just on some meme account. It was like Joan Collins, like Dynasty era, surrounded by hot guys. I clicked through, like found one of the guys' names, went to his Wikipedia page. He was killed, like playing with a gun on not the set of Dynasty, but something else, shooting himself with a blank.
Oh yeah, that guy.
He died. The Crow.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
there's
probably
yeah, there's
most famous
who's that dude?
ones that
The Lee line is cursed.
yeah.
Well, because at close range,
No, it's not the blank. Like you could a blank at close range, like it wouldn't kill you. You get powder burns on your face.
well, but he was holding it to his temple.
No, no, that wouldn't kill you. It would burn your side of your head. But if you don't properly clean the gun, there could be a
There's
scrap of metal,
projectiles.
Yeah.
or like metal filings in the barrel that a blank, like a gun charge, will set off and blow straight into your head, which is
Yeah.
what happened to Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
Is that the guns that they were firing at the scene were like, I remember the scene in the movie, he's sitting at he goes to the front of a long boardroom table at like a crime boss meeting, and everyone pulls out a gun and shoots him at the same time. So like 30 guns were firing at once, and they just didn't clean one of the barrels well enough, and it killed him.
And the guy who killed him was the guy Michael. What's his name? The guy of Gisborne from Prince of Thieves, right?
What?
The guy who shot him.
Wait, with the extra on the film who actually fired the
No, the bad guy.
shot for Brandon Lee?
That was
Michael
the bad guy.
Wincott?
Michael Wincott. That's it.
It wasn't him though. We didn't fire the fatal shot that actually
Oh, I
killed
thought
him.
he did.
No. Or maybe he did. That's
Ah,
fucked up. He's always been a very scary, weird actor.
he's creepy. He creeps me out.
Oh, this is interesting. Did any of you see Unfriended?
Oh no, I've been unfriended.
It was apparently like I'm not a scary movie person. It was apparently fairly scary,
dying.
but it was like kind of like film school people. It was very indie, and it was like kind of a sleeper hit. Like it actually got a theatrical, like a big.
Yes,
theatrical.
yes.
Was
I
that the
heard
movie that
second
was
one
all
worse.
on one like it was all done in screen, like we're doing basically now, but a whole movie told over like screen captures?
Yes.
I
didn't see
think-
that one.
That's it. But anyway, someone is saying that they used squibs on the sequel, which is interesting because it would have
The
been.
sequel's the one I heard was good. The sequel is the one where it's dark web. Where they
Oh, it's on
people
they're on the
accidentally
dark one.
find a dark web video, and they get into the dark web and see dark web snuff films.
But that
That
makes
one looks good.
look, that
I'll
makes sense to
watch that
me
one.
as
Thank you,
a video
guys.
guy. Is like
I
if you're
gotta look
doing
for more
everything
movies. I
on.
watch Unfriended to the dark web.
See, that makes sense to me as like a video guy. If you're doing everything very lo-fi like this, a little pop of actual production value, like using a real
Yep.
squib,
Yeah.
will really go a long way
I
of
know, you
of
think.
selling
These
what you're
motherfuckers
all
don't think-
seeing
know what
on
really
on this
astounds
very
me?
cheap cameras.
I just watched Three from Hell, the latest Rob Zombie movie. Absolute dog shit. And one of the things that made it even worse than usual is that it's just nothing but CGI blood. Even in places where it didn't even need to be, where you could have used practical applications. Just so lazy.
And that
This
seems like
guy's
something
entire
that
career
that
was
Rob
ripping
Zombie
off,
would
like, the
love
original
to
splatter
embrace.
guys like Toby Hooper. They didn't use fucking CGI. You just show some fucking respect, you disgusting bearded oaf.
Wait, I just have to hop in. Kath, is the guy you were reading about John Eric Hexum?
Yes, I
Yeah.
think so.
He was the one who shot himself as a joke, but it was a blank that had shit in it. And then Brandon Lee, someone else shot him.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
like a real setup scene.
Molly, thank you. Yeah, the guy I'm talking about was essentially like doing Russian roulette with. Yeah,
Yeah, great, good.
somebody in the
We
chat
confirm that.
like actually shot through the hand.
Well, that wouldn't have killed him. Maybe this metal went through his hand into his head, but it was a headshot that killed him. He was struck in the head by the whatever killed him. Sorry, back to the Lucasfilm question, Chris. Like that, the camera, projector, and film development setup that they used to do basically all special effects. The most interesting thing about that was that the last time that big rig was used was in the movie Ten Commandments, the Charlton Heston biblical epic, which was almost 10 years before Star Wars. And that was like the last special effects movie that Hollywood was doing. So like almost like for a decade before Star Wars, there were no special effects movies being made by Hollywood at all.
Yeah. I mean, stuff like maybe the Poseidon Adventure or like King Kong 72 or whenever that movie came out were like the big special effects things. But I mean, it speaks to a different type of Hollywood in the early 70s that was mostly just like, I mean, I'm sure there were a bunch of special effects shots in, various like big dramas of the time, but it was a totally different level.
Yeah.
And then Jaws and Star Wars came about, and it was like we're off to the races.
Matt, what was your favorite thing that you saw there?
Oh, that's easy. Motherfucking Vigo the goddamn Carpathian.
Yes.
They got the actual goddamn Vigo the Carpathian. Hell yes.
Ghostbusters 2
Ghostbusters Deuce.
was one of the first movies I have a conscious memory of seeing in the theater.
Speak on it, son. I'm on your vibe right now.
It scared the shit out of me.
It was terrifying.
Terrified me. I was traumatized. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, my parents totally regretted taking me to it because, I was young enough to be at the first apartment we lived in, so that was before second grade. So I must have been like 6 or 7. PG? Yeah, the PG movies used to be a lot more hardcore. There's a lot of kids' movies that you watch now from your youth that like some pretty fucked up shit happens in.
That fucking tub tries to eat the baby.
Yeah, but do you know the actor who played Vigo the Carpathian? If you want to go down a Wikipedia hole, read up on that.
Yeah. There's an article about him.
It is more horrifying than anything in any like movie
ever.
He
was a monster.
He is an absolute.
And he was also
monster.
in Die Hard.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies. He was in John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness.
Yes,
As one of the unfortunate town folk who get taken over.
Yes.
No, I mean, I'm not going to go into the details, but if you want to look up the actor who played Vigo in Ghostbusters 2 and then read their Wikipedia or read up on them, you'll stay up for the rest of the night if you want to.
You know what? I was actually texting with Amber about this earlier tonight, and I had remembered this before, but I always forget that like it's streamable now. You all right, Matt? Are you guys too old to have watched Ren and Stimpy?
Oh, I loved Ren and Stimpy.
That was at my time.
Show is like
I saw Ren and Stimpy.
very dark.
Extremely weird and disturbing for a kid's show.
Strange show.
It was pretty freaking epic. IMO.
It's no Invader Zim.
No, Matt, I disagree with you. I don't think Ren and Stimpy was epic at all. I think it was genuinely deranged and brilliant.
Powdered Toast Man.
There was there'd be just still frames where they would do like a close up on Ren's ear of his disgusting Chihuahua ear fungus.
Oh, people are saying there was a pedo involved, which I was going to say a pedo had to have been involved.
Oh, the creator of the show later got done recently.
He was a bleeding pedo. He was a nonce. He was a bleeding nonce, isn't he?
How about this Ren and Stimpy?
Oh.
Tremendous concept. Let's run with it.
Thank you. We've been at this a while.
Yeah, it's been going good. How many people are watching?
This is really nice. I'm having a good time.
Hundreds,
I was really feeling very scared earlier, and you guys make me feel grounded. I'm glad we can do this.
No, this has been good. Catherine and I, we finished watching our nightly ration of programs, which is right now we're alternating between Trailer Park Boys and Justified. Ooh. And then it gets to be 10:30, 11. Catherine's like, I've nothing to show for the day. I have to go back to the job tomorrow. This sucks. The monotony of this, especially never leaving the house is,
I don't get the joy of commuting home from my office job to, break up the distinction between coming home and waiting for work the next morning and actually being at work. So now I just feel like I'm never truly having leisure time, and I'm never really at work. It's just a flattening of everything.
That sucks. But then we just decided we were talking about it earlier as sort of a lark, and then we just decided to go live on Instagram. And then Matt, you hopped in the chat. That was very fun. And it honestly really helped. It really lifted our spirit. The evening routine.
Yeah, I was doing my 11 p.m. depression, and it was good. So let's keep at it. It's fun to hang with you guys. It almost feels like we're all in the same room. It
really does. I feel like I'm hanging out. It is really fun.
Chris and Molly, you still there?
I'm still here. Chris,
Yeah.
get over here.
No, it's okay. I'm checking.
I enjoy
I just
telling him
esteem
what
you
to
fellows
do.
so much.
When Chris gets back, can I tell you my favorite thing that we saw at the Lucasfilm office?
Yes,
Okay, cool.
and here he is.
I'm sorry. Here I am. I'm back in. What's up?
Oh, I was gonna say that my favorite thing that we saw at the Lucasfilm office, in terms of like movie magic that I had always taken for granted, and with the movie I've seen, but like a testament to like actual special effects is like not something that's like really flashy or memorable, but something that you don't remember at all because it's so seamless and like you don't even think about it. You remember like they had these matte paintings all over.
Yeah.
The
Die
matte
Hard
paintings
2.
were incredibly
Die Hard
cool.
2.
Yes,
Die
the
Hard
Die
2.
Hard one.
Die Hard 2.
It's this huge matte painting and collage that was used for the credits.
Die Hard 2. Yes, Die Hard 2.
I was saying Die Hard 2. Yes, the end credits of Die Hard 2.
That was so cool.
Where, if you remember that film, it's when McClane lights the gasoline trail to the military cargo plane, leaving with William Sadler, his right-wing death squad, and the Central American general. He blows it up. All the planes can land safely because he makes a runway for them on Christmas Eve. And it's just like a massive scene on a runway in a snowstorm with like 4 or 5 fucking airplanes, police cars everywhere. And it was a composite of a painting of airplanes. And then they had collaged in still photographs of police cars. And they used the same police car for each one because they couldn't get that many cars or planes or light it. And it just, they filmed this actual physical like collage painting, but I was so impressed by that because it was something that I was familiar with but never ever thought about. And just in my dumb brain, I was like, well, obviously they were filming at an airport on a runway.
And they had like 6 jumbo jets parked there because it's a big movie and you could have that. Yeah. But no, it was one of those things that is like, again, thinking about how just difficult movies are to make, that something that seems totally
motion pictures.
That's something that seems like it should be something that they just got on camera, which is like, 3 jumbo jets and a few people milling around about them on camera as it slowly pulled out. No. That was a painting that somebody made that they composited in to a shot.
Matte painter was like, used to be a big job. Talking about like squibs, like some movies still use squib. Matte painting is something that you almost never see in movies anymore. And again,
give me the damn matte paintings.
I kind of miss it. Like
matte paintings and squibs or GTFO.
They look really good, and like when you see them up close, it's like the detail in the paintings is like not photorealistic at all. It's very almost impressionistic. But there's something about when you film them, it creates a weird sort of film reality to it. That like,
you guys, I don't want this to be too just so and kind of smug, and people you might roll your eyes at this, but it's honestly true. The reason that they're doing all this bullshit and using awful CGI and getting rid of squibs and getting rid of matte paintings and making the movies look flatter and less engaging, it's capitalism.
It's cheaper. It's
about
easier.
cutting corners and making it cheaper, squeezing of another fucking penny of profit out of it. If we had a post-capitalist system of distribution, we could make films for the love of it, and that means that you would put the fucking resources into the movie to put the squibs in.
That's what
have to make money.
That's why 70s and 80s
paintings. And there would be craft again.
That's why 70s and 80s movies are so amazing in a way, because they were working at the very edge of their productive capabilities as an industry, as like an industrial object. All those movies were, but there was still like a craftsmanship to it. It's almost like, I mean, this might be a naive metaphor, but like the craftsmen or the artisans transforming into the industrial producers in some way is the shift from like old school VFX artists into new school CGI stuff, is moving from a craftsman like model into an industrial model
Yeah.
where it's just like a
And-
bunch of workers just like grinding out code instead of people who actually
There's Marty.
knew how to make things, lovingly making those things on film.
Yeah, and if you think about it, before the 70s, like in the, I guess like the golden age of Hollywood in the 40s, 50s, like matte paintings were actual like set pieces that had to be like two sides to be filmed with actors in front of it. Like the matte paintings that we saw were like actual like smaller like canvas paintings that were filmed and then superimposed with other things. But like matte painting, like huge set pieces, like that's a 5 or 6 man job. The matte painting of like the 70s, 80s, like special effects stuff, that's one very talented person who probably got a good wage to, could hire from the studios to do that.
I don't want to interrupt you, Will, but I do want to point out DJ Sammy Jama in the comments has a great point, which is the Lord of the Rings movies.
Sorry.
That is a great inflection point. The Lord of the Rings is about God damn it, it just left. Lord of the Rings is about craftsmen, artisans becoming industrial slaves. And those movies are a great inflection point to talk about those things because they have both of those skills in them, but that is like kind of the inflection.
No, like that is a great point. And not only are those films like as a thing, the inflection point, but in the original Lord of the Rings movie, the first one, Fellowship of the Ring.
Fellowship of the Ring.
The film itself has an inflection point in it where you see this shift. Whereas the first hour or so of that movie, I think is quite good. And that's like Peter Jackson being good because like, the riders, like the death things on horseback, that was real. And like those, like the bugs came out of the hand. That was artful, frightening, very cool. Like the whole first hour of that movie is sets, the Shire, costumes, real shit. And then about halfway through, it just becomes, and now the Balrog is coming. And like for the next 6 hours of that film franchise, it is nonstop CGI horse shit. Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, I mean, and when you look at some of the behind the scenes shit that they did for that, one of my favorite behind the scenes things ever is just watching how they did some of the scenes with Gandalf interacting with Frodo in his Shire house, where they had literally animatronic sets that pivoted with the camera so it would maintain forced perspective and make it seem like a much larger Gandalf was eating at the same side of another table as a much smaller Frodo through like a huge mechanical rig that all rotated together to maintain the quality of the camera motions with the physical forced perspective of the shots.
And look, let me be clear here.
Unfortunately, none of the Lord of the Rings movies are good.
Well, no, exactly. I need to be. Let me be clear here.
They really aren't they?
Let me be clear. Say for
they kind of suck ass.
Garbage. And if you like Tolkien and even the movies or the books, you that's lame. Like you suck. Like
it's dickless bullshit. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
This is becoming.
I like Game of Thrones because those people fuck.
This is becoming very divisive in the chat. I think we might want to either dive headlong into the debate or peel off.
Being hyperbolic, but between you and I, fantasy is bullshit. Hard sci-fi all the way.
Okay, so cannot verify the factual nature of this, but it's from friend of the show, Haley. Who says George Lucas and Spielberg secretly coordinated to fix wages for VFX artists to be non-competitive, and a number of other people have said that like effects is like one part of the filmmaking industry that is non-union.
Yeah, that has become abundantly apparent with stuff like the Sonic redesign, where all the people in that VFX house got leaned on to totally redesign the main character of that movie from the ground up based on fan response from the first trailer. And then I believe they all got laid off immediately after it was delivered.
I missed
Sonic!
that.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I know that about Spielberg and Lucas. It doesn't surprise me at all. As far as like, Industrial Light and Magic being sort of a cartel. But, like VFX artists used to be like guys who like, had a physical location, like a studio, a place to work. Whereas now, like in terms of it being non-union, it's all just like out farmed to like rendering farms in like South Korea or something. Like it's just not in terms of like think how much
Just
less
press the dang button and it goes bleep blorp.
Yeah, like think how much less you have to pay like someone to just sit at like a computer all day, like doing this shit that looks like trash.
Just go bleep blap bleep blorp.
Just how much easier and cheaper it is, which is weird because when computer effects first started, they were like insanely expensive, but when they were used, they were incredible. And like James Cameron in Terminator 2 and The Abyss, Steven Spielberg, the T-Rex attack in Jurassic Park. Every one of those effects holds up magnificently more than 20 years later because they had the exact right mix of like they used the computer to do the very minimum, but it's the thing that you could never ever actually do.
That's the thing. The way to get the balance is if you use CGI only for what cannot be otherwise accomplished in any way, you will guarantee that it is more seamless. If you start slathering it over everything, it loses its sense of reality and it gets all shiny and it sucks.
Like, for perfect example, the T-1000 in Terminator 2.
Yes.
In Jurassic Park, those characters, effects, everything about it holds up better than almost everything that has been done since then.
Yeah.
Preach on it. It's absurd. It's pathetic.
It's like when you're trying to cut corners with CGI at any point, where you're trying to do it because it's easier, it always fails. You should try to do the maximum you should try to do the maximum that you possibly can with physical effects.
Always do practical effects. Always, always, always.
And then at the very end of your ability to, you should use
like
CGI.
Movie, right?
I mean, they have like costumes, and then like every single action scene is just shot in like a gigantic like airplane hangar that's been turned into a green screen. That's it. Matt, speaking of Terminator 2, I just read something that I saw a link to this week about, you want to talk practical effect shot? The stunt in that movie where they fly the helicopter under the highway is one of the most incredible things. And again, because I've seen that movie so many times and forever I never thought about that. But that was not an effect. They actually did that and filmed it.
Yep.
James Cameron relied on this insane stunt helicopter pilot who was a Vietnam vet, and he was the only one that would do it. And it was one of those things where his cinematographer wouldn't even be involved in it. He was like, I can't even look. So Cameron was the one who got like the actual shot himself.
He got behind the camera for that because it was too unethical for his regular cinematographer to do it, right?
At speed, they flew a helicopter under a highway overpass.
It was insane.
Under like a 25-foot.
It was being mental.
The clearance was probably like 5 to 10 feet at most.
Yeah.
On either side, on the top and bottom of the helicopter.
In a movie full of insane, crazy shit that is
unbelievable.
And it's like a 2-second shot.
The truck fucking going over the edge of the LA River.
Yeah.
That motherfucker really went over the edge. That happened.
Asking me to fill out the card.
We watched Terminator 2,
Oh, okay. Right? Can I speak on this for a second?
Speak on it.
People are asking how I feel about the CBS All Access Star Trek reboot series Picard. The answer is it's bad. It's like not good, and it's certainly not Star Trek as I would like. There is like the new Star Trek is not Star Trek, even though it pays homage to it. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't feel like it in any way. It's modern. It's new. For the most part, it sucks. But here's the thing. I will consume the slop like Data, my hero, without human emotion, but with an interest towards what human beings are like. And I do it without hate or anticipation or joy.
This is really profound.
But it's good enough for me to watch, is basically what I'm trying to say.
Was not expecting this.
It touches, the few nodes of Star Trek pleasure that it's able to is enough for me.
The remaining areas of your brain that still light up with pleasure.
But it's not gonna light up in pleasure like even when I watch Voyager, which is like probably the worst of the series, but it's still Star Trek. And look, Patrick Stewart, he's the god. He's giving you it like nobody commits like he does, and he's gonna give you 100% every delivery. It's just he's great, but it's new and it's garbage. So that's that.
All right, here's a question totally out of left field. Maybe this is too dark. You have a wish.
Wait, ask that again, Kath. I think you were coming through a little choppy on the stream.
Aged out of that.
You gotta keep going. We're not getting any of this.
Oh, sorry. Yeah? Hello?
Hello?
Oh,
Hello? Am I frozen?
No, okay, we got you back.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
yeah. Very good. Go for it.
If you were a child who had a Make-A-Wish wish, what would you have chosen?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I know.
If I was a Make-A-Wish kid,
Well, yeah, it's only for kids.
what age would I have been?
Specifically at Matt, but I want to open it up to the full panel.
What age would I have been?
Wait, are we a child now making a Make-A-Wish, or when we were a child, what would be our Make-A-Wish?
How about when you were a child? I think all the Make-A-Wish kids are like less than 13 or something.
I mean, I can answer this right away. For when I was less than 13, mine would probably be meet and hang out and say hey and watch Jackie Chan do some stunts on a movie set.
See, that's cool. What always struck me as the lamest thing was just like take me to Disney World.
You can do that anyway.
Maybe because I had a Disney family, so I was like, I've fucking been there.
Molly,
La-di-da, Ms. Krieger.
I know.
Molly, what's your Make-A-Wish?
I honestly, I'm really having trouble trying to get in touch with my like 13-year-old or 12-year-old self right now. I can't remember.
It's not just your 13-year-old self.
Matt, do you have an idea of one?
Given that year 13, probably something involving seeing boobs.
Yeah,
Like,
I was gonna say,
just let me like take a gander at a pair of hooters.
Have sex with a woman.
Yeah,
Let me clap my eyes and maybe a little twist, maybe a little nipple twist, something like that.
No, I was gonna say this is an easy one for me. No matter how terminal the prognosis, me at 13, Make-A-Wish, just top.
You're not allowed to ask for that.
Okay. Wait, you're telling me they would say no?
Yes, they would.
That would be child abuse.
All right.
Well, I would get top from an adult woman, obviously.
They would not.
Still child abuse.
I suppose that's also child abuse.
Yeah.
It's the age appropriate.
It's you know.
I've got mine. Yeah, bring me on as a guest to the Ellen DeGeneres show. You know, my favorite. I just want to dance with Ellen. You know.
Wait, when I was canvassing in North Carolina, my canvassing partner had gotten a fucking grad school college scholarship from Ellen.
What?
She had like gone on her show like the prior year. She basically wrote to her on a whim being like, could you pay for my grad school? And she did.
So
she's a huge asshole, I know, but.
Well, yeah, did you see that thread this week? It was some like Hollywood person being like, I'll donate money, like $2 for every like Ellen is an asshole story. And it was some insane shit.
Really crazy shit.
Including stuff like I was an intern who left like right after Christmas, and she asked me to give my Christmas gift back because she always makes a huge deal about only giving gifts to the staffers she likes or something.
What?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, like, Matt, I don't know if you remember, but I know like Androsky has told me, and like he would know. He's never worked with Ellen, but you know, he knows definitely people, comedy writers who have interacted with her, certainly in her current iteration. And he said it is widely known that she is one of the most awful, like tyrannical.
You're not allowed to look her
like
in the eyes.
No eye contact, like you're in an elevator, or any interaction with her and her staff or anyone under her is like deeply bizarre and also like abusive, basically. Allegedly. I mean, I don't want to slander Ellen here, but you know.
Yeah, she like tried to get a waiter fired because they had like chipped nail polish.
Oh, I
I
saw
heard
that.
about that story.
that.
Yeah, that's nuts. And apparently,
Sounds
the one
awful.
thing I remember hearing was that if you get in an elevator with her energy is just like vibrating, like with anxiety about being in, like having to look at someone. Like she just has this like violent compulsion not to have to look at her underlings. Really
Wait,
gross.
so Molly, did you come up with something?
Oh man. I mean, honestly, send me 13 years old. Send me to New Zealand and get me on the set of Lord of the Rings.
That's good.
Sorry.
Give me with some hobbits.
That's 13.
Maybe
Well,
a cape.
Well, you were 13 when that came out. That was fucking cool.
I mean, I think movie set is a pretty good standard
Really
make
cool.
a wish
with
for
some
whatever
IRL
you would
meetups
want
with some
to
people.
do.
Maybe
You know
take
what?
me on the Pirates of the Caribbean boat.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's cool. Again, going back to our past topic of conversation, making movies is insane in any level, and the bigger the blockbuster, the more insane it is. So, like, actually watching any of those shots get pulled off would be
Chris,
amazing.
I really like your Jackie Chan wish, and I think honestly, if we accept that they can't, arrange sexual liaisons for a dying 13-year-old boy, I would go 13-year-old me, and like honestly, maybe even me now, despite the fact that I am, living my wish in every way.
Okay.
By being with Catherine,
Good.
and,
This is all a test.
I want for nothing. 13-year-old me, or if you terminally ill me now, and what's your wish? It might be the same thing. And maybe this is corny, but I named my cat after him. God damn it! I would like to just go to a screening room with Marty Scorsese, just have him sort of select some films to watch and hang out and talk movies.
Like a
cool.
little afternoon with Martin Scorsese.
All right. What if you get in the theater? You get in the theater. He sits down. And he goes, "Well, right, we got a great afternoon. I picked some real amazing pictures. We're gonna watch them together. Okay. First, now we got this one. It is Nude Sunbathers, 1952.
You're both.
And it's one of those nudie cuties with a bunch of like nude men doing volleyball. And now we got another one. This is amazing. It's Tom Finland, 1975, and it's a bunch of like buff gentlemen like chopping down a tree. And it's just a bunch of gay shit.
I would hope this would be 80s era Scorsese when he was roommates with Robbie Robertson of the band, and he would just be like, "Will, it's called cocaine. It's great. You feel great. It's wonderful. Try it. Have some more." So yeah, chilling with Robbie Robertson and Martin Scorsese.
The funny thing is, for Scorsese, if you were like, your wish was to just get in a screening room with him and let him program, like, I don't know, whatever, 4 or 5 hours of films, and your wish was to just see what he programmed, even if he did, you came in, it was all like nudie cuties or like gay exploitation flicks from the 70s, it would still be fascinating to see which ones he chose and why he enjoyed them. Like, that would still be a fascinating afternoon of film programming, of like just seeing what he pulled out from the porn vault of actual film.
Okay, imagine he picks One Night in Paris. That's among his picks. I would respect the fuck out of that.
Well, if that were the case, I would feel like Sybil Shepherd in Taxi Driver, where Travis takes her to the porn theater on a date.
I just want to.
Except I would be cool and not walk out of it like Sybil Shepherd did. I would roll with it.
Yeah, you would have been able to vibe with it.
Yeah.
I just want to say, if I was an 18-year-old Make-A-Wish kid, would not want to die without Bobby Cannavale just choking the shit out of me.
Well, since you brought it up,
choking?
No. No. Close. One Night in Paris, the first celebrity sex tape of this era, really. Who has seen One Night in Paris?
I mean,
I haven't.
Clips.
I have.
I don't know what encompasses
like,
the entirety of One Night in
I've never
Paris.
seen the entirety of it.
I saw it.
A few years,
Okay,
I
hold on.
actually sought it out online, and I felt weird for spending too much time at it, but like it wasn't easily accessible, so I gave up.
Have you seen the entire thing, Matt?
I believe so. Yeah.
How long is it?
About 6 inches.
Well, so I actually just saw this.
Do
on
we
Instagram.
know who the guy is in
Rick
One Night in
Solomon.
Miami?
Yeah.
Love the sleaze bag.
Yeah.
Rick Solomon, an sleazebag. I think
Did this predate?
he's one of
Hey, though,
he's
I don't-
one of
Yes,
did.
yes,
one
it
of
did.
Pam Anderson's ex-husbands.
Ooh.
Oh, right. I did see
God
that someone-
damn it! All just comes from one source. It's like
Oh, dude, the
Pam
Pamela
Anderson
Anderson was first.
to
Oh my
this
God.
guy, Rick Sullivan,
Farrah-
to Paris Hilton, to Kim Kardashian, who is, as we all know, Paris Hilton's closet manager.
organizer.
So
Like
first
literally
one-
all fame derives from Pamela Anderson.
no, but yeah, the first one was Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee's like honeymoon video.
Oh,
Again, I've never seen-
yes.
I've never seen all
On
of
the
them.
note,
It's like
he presses
My point
horns
is that-
with its huge dick.
I've never seen all of like the front to back. I've seen clips of it, but the point here, clip or front to back, they're all terrible. They're not. None of them are
Well,
hot.
they're not
The
designed.
cinematography is
they don't have
awful.
the audience in mind.
That's not the point.
There's no practical effects in them.
They're not
teen
using
mom-
spooge squibs.
the
Awful.
teen mom Farrah Abraham with James Dean
Because
pre-cancellation.
that was a fake sex tape. That's
Yeah.
why that looked better.
Yeah, but it was like in the last 5 years,
I
right?
wasn't even
Oh,
aware.
yeah.
Of it.
Yeah,
I don't even know who that is.
she's like the sluttiest. Teen
Oh, she
mom.
was one of the teen moms.
Yeah.
And so she wanted to get like a bit of fame by doing a sex tape, but she didn't want it to be like, hey, I'm going to have sex on tape because that just makes you a porn star. And she didn't want that. So she, even though she like went to Vivid and signed a contract and did it with James Dean, she then claimed that it was a sex tape that she made when she was in a relationship with him.
Kind of iconic. Kind of iconic.
It's pretty funny.
But it's not iconic. Like, no one knows about this other than these.
I know
weirdos.
about it. God
Also,
damn it.
James Dean is a.
I mean,
I
all
hold
what
the
all four of us here just
I hold the
happen to know about it. I mean,
law.
this is like minor celebrity like shit that you know.
I hold the law.
Also, I just think lying about like, oh yeah, I was dating this porn star and like her trying to maintain the illusion that it wasn't staged, I think is iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing.
Hey, Paul C99, Tila Tequila, low-key iconic for having a bi dating show on MTV in like what 2006?
Oh, VH1.
Yeah.
And
And
then
they only
becoming
invented
the actual
bisexuality in like
Nazi.
2004.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a full-on fucking Nazi.
yeah.
That
I mean,
was the
she has
kind
been
of flat
all
earther.
she has been all over the place.
To me on like all those shows on
And
VH1.
an esoteric Nazi at that, like a Thule Society fucking hollow earth ass Nazi.
Like she has the rare info.
Oh, here's another one. Sydney Leathers. Did she hook up with Anthony Weiner or Elliot
Oh,
Spitzer?
she was one. No one hooked up with Anthony Weiner.
He
Well,
never hooked up with
Elliot
anybody.
Spitzer.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the most
But
insane
she
thing.
did go on to
He
do
only
porn.
showed his
Wait,
We'll
clothed
go on to
dick.
do pornographies, yes.
Okay, so Sydney
He
Leathers
has made several
sexted,
pornographies.
she sexted with Anthony Weiner and then went on to do pornographies.
Yes.
He has done several pornographies, yes.
Wait, who ended up with Elliot Spitzer? Like Ashley something?
I don't even know what the Spitz is up to. I mean, famously
He was
he-
with
yeah.
Liz Smith. He was shrimping her ass in a fucking jacuzzi.
famously Liz Smith, and then like the actual like escort that like did him in.
Yes.
Dude, Elliot Spitzer is an interesting one. If that didn't happen, and he, by the way, for sure was set up by like Roger Stone and like
Oh,
New York
1,000,000%.
now, but
A
also,
million %.
but also
Ashley
how
Dupre.
fucking dumb is
Ashley
wait,
Dupre.
Ashley
Oh,
Dupre.
yes.
That was
Ashley
the-
Dupre.
And
Yeah.
famously,
That's
she
for
said
her.
that he would always fuck with his dress socks on, which is really gross.
Yes.
Oh.
Yuck.
Wait.
Like
It's kind of a sideways
like Mark
question.
Strong will. Like Mark Strong.
Kind of a
Yes.
sideways question from here. Wither Liz Smith, like when will we see her pop up next, and for what like absolute toad?
Matt, you want to go first?
I think Liz Smith will run for office now.
Yeah, I think like she's got her irons in so many fires. Like I'm convinced that like she's working hand in glove with Buttigieg, Bloomberg, like all these people. I don't expect to like have her name be in the news as much now that Pete Buttigieg is gone, but you can rest assured that she is still getting caked up, partying, just like fucking.
I thought she was going to immediately get snapped up to be like
A what?
Like an MSNBC person.
No. She's smart enough to know that the real game is not being on TV. It's to have everyone know you and like want to call you and like you having them in your phone. It's not being on TV.
I mean,
so I give her credit for that.
I mean, could she be like maybe Gen X Neera Tanden or like the next generation Neera Tanden type person?
No, because I don't think she's really interested in policy. I think she's just like being a media operator, kind of.
Yeah.
That's her thing.
She's a disgusting creature. She's
I mean,
a vile creature.
Regardless, I feel like that is a name that we're going to hear over and over and more, frankly.
Oh wait, no, this is for Matt though.
I mean, she's not going away for sure.
Well, no, like
she's not
gonna go away
just like
from
Benghazi. She's not going away.
She's gonna go away from having her name in the news or her self being part of a news story, but she's not
You've
going.
not heard the last from me, Chapo.
No, Matt, this is for you though. What I said earlier about like Elliot Spitzer, right? Who was a very popular governor of New York. Who it was just.
He was the crusader. He was gonna fix up Wall Street.
He was, probably mostly a phony. Like, I mean, but they did hate him. That's the thing, and I could totally
They were very, very riled up by him.
Like, if he had not done that, like, would he be in this place that Cuomo is now? Like, would he have had like a meteoric rise? Or
I mean, he was in a great position, especially because he fell right around the time that the crisis happened. He would have been in the perfect position to be the guy who was the Cassandra, the guy who called it. He could have been the guy who benefited. He could have been the fucking guy who came out of that and became president, for God's sake.
From New York, though. That's the problem.
I thought the consensus was also that Wiener was on his way up in a big way.
Oh, he was too, for sure.
Yeah. So, like, they both,
Wiener's downfall is a million times more bizarre and perverted.
What a freak. What a little pervert.
Comeback. Like, he could have.
A perverted, dirty little monkey.
But just to finish my thought about Spitzer, though, what I don't get about that is this guy was like a fucking like stud prosecutor, right? Like, think how much power you have as a prosecutor, fuck with people in so many different ways.
I love it. I do it all the time.
You're going to these like Upper West Side high class brothels, just fucking like $1,000 an hour escorts at like this height of decadent luxury. How it's coming from the world he comes from. How do you not fucking know that you're being recorded from the moment you walk in one of those places?
Baffling.
By the feds, by fucking private interests, by fucking everybody. Like, this is the oldest trick in the book. How does anyone not know about this yet?
Unbelievable.
These things at his house or whatever, like fucking Epstein did.
And it just goes to show that he clearly tripped some sort of alarm system where they thought, oh, he's not bullshitting. He might actually come after us. We have to like engage our antibodies immediately.
I mean, if anything, he was aware of it and did it because he just assumed, well, everyone's doing it and we're all protected by the same dirt,
So the update on where Spitzer is now from our friend Antonio is that he's apparently making big moves on the Williamsburg waterfront.
Oh, that'll be great.
We have a friend who lives down there, and he's financed like multiple buildings down there.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the funniest thing about all that was, I mean, I'm sure they're figuring out a way around it. No, they already did, but it was so funny to me. Like, as soon as all those Williamsburg waterfront buildings opened, like literally as soon as they did was when the state was like, yeah, the L train's not going to be running for 2 years.
No.
Basically making that area unaccessible. But then they like worked out a system where it's like kind of running kind of all the time at 2/3 capacity. I don't know.
And probably will for like 7 years.
As it turns out, all of the rich property owners or, rich renters were basically like, this is simply, I basically think they won the PR war. Like the L isn't shutting down anymore.
So the train is no longer shutting down, but now we have an unavoidable global disease conflict, which is going to
we've all taken the L.
Look, Chris,
we're taking the L train of the world right now.
The L train not aborted shutdown is the perfect small analogy for the same paradox that we're facing now on a global scale.
Absolutely.
They should have shut down the L train like right after Hurricane Sandy.
And just been like, look, it's going to be down for 15 months. We're going to fix it. It's going to work better than ever. You're gonna deal with it. Let's get over it with.
And like the thing is, like they would need to shut it down for like at least 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
because that's just the way the New York City subway. Like it's
100 years old. It's
It's
amazing that it
100
fucking works
years
as well that it does. That is the thing about the New York City subway
It's
system.
rough.
It's amazing that it works as well as it does, considering that it was all built in like 1910.
But the point is, like, they knew right after Hurricane Sandy that those old ass tunnels under the East River were like on their last legs, and Sandy was really a death blow to it. They could have made the decision, like they originally wanted to like, look, we're just shutting down L service into Brooklyn for 2 years. It's going to suck. It's going to inconvenience tens of thousands of people, but we just have to bite the bullet and do it.
Well, what about the money, Lebowski?
Yeah, but what they decided on
What is
was
about the
this-
fucking money?
because there's like, as Catherine said, all of the condos and property owned, their value dependent on being able to access Manhattan in 15 minutes.
Yes.
Wouldn't fucking stand for it. So now we're going to end up with a worse problem in the long run because we couldn't bite the bullet as bad as it is, immediately.
Also, they're still doing repairs, but like it's going to take like a decade.
No, they're doing the repairs that they do on the for the entire subway system, which is like on weekends or nights or off hours or just a little bit of time. Which, yes, will take probably 10 years, and I don't think they even have 10 years left in those fucking tunnels.
No.
No, it all seems like a disaster. The last time that I was down there, the sign that was posted stipulating what hours it was actually running was inane, and it seemed like it didn't make much of a better. You got basically daytime hours, and then it was closed, and almost all.
I mean,
The point is that as we're all saying right now, is like you just close it down and fix the whole thing. Or you try to make a bizarre piecemeal solution, which doesn't solve any of the problems satisfactorily.
That's how the MTA works. I just think my
That's
lucky
how
stars,
all these
like,
systems work.
Don't go to Manhattan on the weekends at all anymore, let alone like going to bars in the East Village when I would like go underground and be like, oh, it's after 10 p.m. They're running every 40 minutes or something.
But Will is totally right that it's a perfect microcosm to what's going on now. Is that it's like either we can just like do the bad thing and just
Bite the bullet, and it is gonna suck. And like
The
a
thing
lot of
about
people
that
are-
is that you disrupt the fucking flow of capital and profit.
Well, there you go.
Disrupt the
Yeah.
profit
Like,
flow,
it
and if you
would
disrupt the
hurt
profit flow,
business.
you undermine the entire premise of the thing.
right.
Yeah, well,
Too much of an
World Trade
existential
shutdown.
threat, it cannot be providenced.
But
But
you-
trade shutdown would definitely affect businesses and property in that neighborhood. But now this is like a global scale, or at least national for America. Yes, shutting everything down for like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months will create a huge fucking hole. Like it'll cause a depression. But the choice right now is not: do we shut down and combat the disease and bite the economic bullet, or juice the economy and like take our chances? It's like, no, the economy is going to crash either way. It's
Yes.
just now,
Yeah,
slightly less
Why I
bad,
need
but
to know:
later, we're
are
just
there
like, fucking-
people? Are there adults? Are there people who are going to step in and stop them from doing this?
I really don't know,
Or
honestly.
are we really going to just
Still-
let us? Are they
still-
just going to? Are we just going to blunder into the thing like we're in fucking Idiocracy, as though Idiocracy were in fact a documentary film?
I saw a great tweet this evening being like, at Hillary Clinton, at Obama, like basically, it's your job now to, step up and speak truth to Trump about this.
Have they done that heretofore at once during the Trump administration about anything, about the kids in cages or any of the abominable things that he's done in office? Have they made their voice heard at all, ever? Not on Twitter?
Yeah,
It would be really funny if Barack and Hillary went on a like national speaking tour right now in a very public way, just about the dangers of the market collapsing. And that was like the thing that they stood out to do,
Yeah.
like a big tour and like public facing thing about.
And that's the thing. They're more likely to do that than make any public appearance contradicting Trump. Because why? Because it would violate norms.
If
norms.
you're a living ex-president, it's just like unstated that you don't shit all over the serving president because it's like, the country's bigger than you.
All right, I hate to say this, guys, but it's 1 a.m. I think we need to wrap it up here, and because we're hosting the stream, that means that it's probably all going to shut down. Not probably, it will all shut down. But it has been nice hanging out with you all here.
It was really fun.
I do want to shout out Haley Glyphs in the chat, who has consistently provided so much good art for us. Hey, Haley Glyphs, it's nice to have you here.
The T-shirt soon to come.
T-shirt soon to come. There will be Haley Glyphs official Chapo merch. The first Monday of May that will be out.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think it's time to go.
Yeah, it's
All right.
This was really fun. Let's do this again.
This was really fun.
Babies.
We can keep this
You guys
going.
are so money you don't even know it.
We are so many.
Movies.
The movies. We love the movies.
The magic of movies.
See you at the movies.
We'll see you all at the movies. All right.
Movies.
Signing off. Good night, everybody.
Bye, movies.
Bye. Thanks